All right. Good morning, everyone. Sorry we're a little late behind schedule here, but that's okay. We're going to get started here at 9:07 and call this meeting to order. As customary, we start out with our moment of silence, and I believe Supervisor Peiska has one. And Supervisor Owen.
I think everybody was really shocked and is feeling the loss of a local legend in the Cobb area in District 5 and in the board chambers here. Joan Moss was in a car accident last week and then passed away shortly after. And I know. She was everywhere in her little red car. You could see her driving all around the county. She was a songwriter, a musician, a journalist, and a fixture in the board chambers here. She liked to follow everything that was going on and hold everybody that sat up here on the dais accountable in her own way. She wrote a very famous song at one point. And I learned a lot from her over the years. I learned a lot about being a public servant and spent a lot of time listening to her and taking her calls and her emails. So I just wanted to dedicate the moment of silence today to Joan Moss and just keep her memory alive, because that woman was a wild spirit and really just embodied Lake County and the community that we live in.
We also lost a longtime Middletown resident, Miss Gail Wright, and she passed away at home. She had been fighting cancer for many years. She was raised there in Middletown, graduated from Middletown High School. And we also had a fatal accident yesterday on Highway 29, and we lost 2 Hidden Valley residents in that accident. And since a lot of the information has not been officially released yet, I won't go into it any more than that.
All right. Vice Chair Rasmussen, can you lead us in the pledge, please?
Yes. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Item 4, consideration of extra items not appearing on the posted agenda. Do we have any?
We have no extra items.
No extra items. Next is approval of the consent agenda, and it looks like so far we have 2, 5.6 and 5.9. So consent agenda items are usually non-controversial, and they will usually be passed with one motion for all of them. However, if there's any that needs to be pulled, like 5.6 and 5.9, to be further discussed, or any questions, anyone from the dais can do so, and anyone from the public can do so. So I know we have 5.6, 5.9. Is there any others from the board? Hearing none. Anyone from the public would like to pull any consent agenda items? No hands in Zoom. I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda with the exception of 5.6 and 5.9.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Next, we have our timed items, 6.1, public input. Public input is an opportunity for the public to come up and give input on something that's not on the posted agenda. Just know that the Board of Supervisors cannot address you at this time or have a back and forth when it comes to what you are bringing forward. We will do our best to ensure that we can connect you with whoever or whatever department is addressing your issue. I have a couple here already up, but I see someone standing up, so you will have 3 minutes. And just know, at the 3-minute level, I have to stop you. You have to stop. There's no, hey, I need more time, or hey, I'm going to keep you, it's going to stop. If we have to, I don't want to do this, we'll have to take a break. If you need more time, I will give you more time after everyone's finished, if you need to finish what you're saying, but we really need to keep it together and stay at that time limit. All right, come on up.
I'll be quick. Good morning, Board. Thank you for having me today. My name is Angela De Palma Dow. I am the Lake County Land Trust Executive Director, and I just wanted to let the Board and the public know that on Friday at 7 p.m., there'll be a showing of the Clear Lake full-length science documentary called Hobbiton, Big Lake, Big Science, and that'll be starting at 7 p.m. It is free to attend with an optional donation that goes towards Soper Reese renovations. And I just wanted to let everybody know that this is one of the first science documentaries about Clear Lake. And we had a first release of this last year after the Clear Lake Integrated Science Symposium. Since then, we've had a lot more time. We've included a lot more tribal voices, tribal projects. The most recent Blue Ribbon Committee for the Rehabilitation of Clear Lake projects are outlined in this film, as well as a lot of the current science, research, and management going on in Clear Lake. And some of this has been updated as recently as like 2-3 weeks ago. So it is hot off the presses. I saw there was 2 items on the consent agenda regarding Clear Lake Hitch. There's a whole Fishstery and Hitch segment in this film, as well as the current data of Clear Lake Hitch in Clear Lake from USGS and Fish and Wildlife. So I just wanted to bring that attention. I have some posters here for anybody that is interested. And then I did want to acknowledge Supervisors Rasmussen and Crandall. You guys are in the film, so your 15 minutes of fame. Thank you so much. And so I have some movie posters for you here to acknowledge your participation.
Right.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thanks to Sam. He did all the filming and editing. Sam Houston is amazing, and just everybody participated in the film. There's a lot of misinformation about Clear Lake, and this is something positive that's factual, based in science, that we can bring forward and share forever. So thank you.
Sign it and auction it off at RCRC. Sign it and auction it off at RCRC.
Good morning, Supervisors. Gail Delane, Lake Village Estates Senior Mobile Home Park in Clear Lake Oaks. In support of the ad hoc committee to discuss the mobile home rent stabilization ordinance. At the August 19th Board of Supervisors meeting, a draft mobile home park rent stabilization ordinance was brought forth for discussion. The result was the formation of an ad hoc committee to discuss issues unique to mobile home parks. We are grateful and encouraged by the outcome. During public comments, our corporate investment park owners were quite successful in moving the conversation away from the salient points of the ordinance. So I've come back this morning to highlight a couple of important issues that were swept aside and that the draft ordinance addresses. First, our park was purchased less than 2 years ago, and space rent for our park has gone from $420 to $700 per month, which does not include taxes, water, sewer, trash, gas, or electric. We pay that. Second, pass-through charges go uncapped and unchecked. Pass-through charges are charges park owners can pass through to homeowners at will for any work they do to increase the value of their park. This can include large infrastructure projects. The price of the work and the quality goes unchecked, yet a portion of the total cost of the job passes through to us, homeowners. Third, intimidation. We were given a 45-page lease agreement. No meetings to discuss the contents. Many were afraid to sign. And what position does that put us in? We are homeowners on rented land with an inability to easily move our homes when threatened with eviction. As a park, we didn't know where to turn for help, so we went to our Earth meeting, where we found encouragement and assistance. I spoke up at that meeting, and a reporter quoted me in an article. I received an intimidating call from Boa Vida. As it turns out, they have a service that lets them know anytime their name is mentioned in a newspaper article or any article. So this is why more people don't come out and speak publicly. It's not that there isn't a problem, it's the intimidation of owning a home on rented land. When read in its entirety and studied, the ordinance draft suggests points of discussion for boundaries and limits so park owners can make a fair profit without homeowners feeling taken advantage of or threatened. If these type of ordinances were not needed, there wouldn't be so many counties across America enacting them. Thank you to Supervisor Crandall for the draft, and thanks to both Supervisors Crandall and Sabatier for the ad hoc committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. And thank you for being right on time.
Hello, board members. My name is Jim Beal. I'm from Clear Lake Oaks. I live in the same development that Gail does. And I also wanted to make some comments in favor of, in support of the ad hoc committee to explore rent stabilization. At the meeting that Gail alluded to, several local residents spoke in support of rent stabilization, but they were followed by call-ins from corporate interests. Their recurrent theme was to fact-check claims of local citizens. I agree wholeheartedly with their concern for truth, but fact-checking should apply to all interested parties. For example, they made claims that they only raise rents $25. Fact check. One of their strategies is to have tenants make investments for them. Example is the pass-through charges that Gail mentioned. They charged us in the first year that they took over $120,000 for cosmetic repairs to streets and to remodel their clubhouse to accommodate their office. They're currently doing perimeter fence repair estimated at $90,000. We haven't gotten the bill for that yet. New lots are being rented 50% over the current price. By the way, a 10% rent increase per year doubles our rent every 7.5 years. That contributes to less affordable rent in the future. Another statement, the corporate interests claim rent stabilization will bankrupt them. There are rent stabilization ordinances throughout the United States, and these firms are still posting significant profit. Washington recently enacted a statewide cap on mobile home park rent increases at 5%. It has provisions for rights and responsibilities for both landlords and tenants, and provision for justifiable increases over 5% for special circumstances. I've not heard of any bankruptcies. I'm more fearful about financial security of vulnerable residents on fixed incomes. My guess is that more homeless folks are the victim of unaffordable housing than from having a bad year in the stock market. My final point is, my wife and I co-own 4 successful businesses. We're proud supporters of free enterprise, including making money with money. But without some regulation, inequities can occur in the areas of health, safety, environment, and economic balance. It is my sincere hope that the committee avoid ideological debate on the role of government and help us move away from bickering between the parties and to find a practical solution that's fair to all concerned. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Go ahead, come on up.
Good morning, Board. My name is Nicole Sullivan, and I am an IHSS worker here in Lake County and a proud member of SEIU 2015. I want to join others here in saying how important it is for caregivers to receive higher wages in our new contract. Our union recently did a poll and it found that 86% of Lake County providers work multiple jobs just to make ends meet. That means taking care of vulnerable and disabled people in the county doesn't pay a livable wage. We've got a lot of dedicated caregivers working hard to provide good service who could use some stability. I have 2 clients that I serve, and I work long hours. I am at work early in the morning until late at night. And my 8-year-old daughter tells me every day how she wishes I didn't have to work so much because she misses me. I'm asking that you please give us livable wages so that good caregivers in Lake County can have some security in their lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Licia Turner, and I am an IHSS care provider. I've been a care provider for 15 years now, 8 years in Contra Costa County and 7 years here in Lake County. The care providers that gave exceptional care to and for My mother, prior to her transition, made such an impact on me that I knew I had to pay it forward. I became a provider. I currently reside here with my husband, who is a disabled veteran, and my stepdaughter, who is also disabled. I feel satisfaction at the end of my day knowing that I have helped another person live comfortably in their own homes. The supplemental income from my work assists my family in paying for some of our day-to-day needs. Staying up to date and/or current with those payments has been an ongoing challenge. As prices of everything continue to increase, we find it harder to keep our heads above water. Do we make a partial payment to PG&E or a partial payment to water? Who's screaming the loudest? Robbing from Peter to pay Paul is not a Bible scripture, but it is a fact of life for me and most providers here in Lake County. Even with me taking on extra clients, it doesn't stop the sting. As I'm sure you all know, we do not choose this job to become financially wealthy. However, a reasonable wage is warranted. For that reason, I implore you to honestly give our request for an increase in our hourly wage serious consideration when reviewing your budgets. We want to make sure you all have the correct information you need to work with us to address Lake County's long-term care crisis. The document we've passed out to the clerk explains how you all can use state funding to raise wages in IHSS workers. We will share the same document with your negotiator during our next bargaining session. This is money our county wouldn't otherwise receive, and we need it to make sure Lake County's in-home service support workers can cover our expenses while continuing to provide care for our community's elderly and people with disabilities. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Frances Ford. I'm a caregiver also at this point in my life. I provide for an elder in the community. I have been here in the Lake County. I started in Lake County in 1987, and I started as an IHS worker. And it didn't pay for what I needed, so I went on to school. But I've returned into being an IHS as I've retired. It is not enough of an income to make a living, but I am grateful for what I do get. Thank you. I'd like you to make a good effort to think about how caregivers spend their money and where we spend our money. We spend it in places that actually the money doesn't even stay in the county. We don't get to go to the farmers markets a lot of times. We don't get to go to certain places that are making money here in the county and keeping it in the county. We go out to areas that take our money away from us for our county. I don't have a lot to say, but I'd like to see that the power of our leadership here would consider how you would make a decision, as you did for the courthouse that's being put up, to put money into the IHSS for the people who need it. And that's all I have to say, is I hope that you will meet some of our needs here in the county. Thank you for IHSS. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francis. You're welcome. And I know we have Frank Costner as well, but I see someone else coming up before you.
Hi, my name's Lisa Peak, and I've been working for the elders for, I don't know, a long time. And so I just want to know, like, I had a bunch of questions and they told me to come to the meeting. So my question is, like, the wages for the workers. Like, there's a lot of workers that got 2, 3 jobs trying to make ends meet, and it's hard. But I've been doing it for a while where I wasn't getting paid. Then when I started getting paid, I'm like, people are getting paid to help the elders, and it's like, holy, it's a lot, you guys. I don't know why they haven't got a raise, but that's why I'm here, is to ask, like, the wages that they're getting. I don't know a worker that's not just working one job. They're working 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? It's hard. So I just want you, whatever's stopping you guys from giving these guys wages, raising it. The living expenses, if you compare the living expenses to what they have to go to, and they're taking care of the elders around the lake, and there's elders all over the lake that haven't even connected to getting help. Like, I know elders on the res that need help, but there's nobody there. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys know what I mean. But yeah, I'm here to help them and speak about getting, a raise for, I don't know how long this has been going on, but I know I help where I can, and it's really emotional. It's emotional. If you go in them homes and all these workers here, it's hard. I mean, just follow one of these workers around one day and you'll see, the people need help. They need a lot of help. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vicki Osborne, and I have the recent polling reveals for long-term care in Lake County that the union has taken. Recently, polls revealed the low wages prevented Lake home caregivers, workers from paying for housing, feeding their families, and accessing medical care. 86% of IHSS work multiple jobs, at least sometimes just to make ends meet. 65% of Lake County IHS workers have difficulty paying their rent, their mortgage each month, reporting that they are sometimes always late with their payments. Additional 52% of respondents spend at least 50% of their income on just housing. I know I do. 53% of Lake County's IHSS workers experience consistent food insecurity, relying on CalFresh and or the food banks to get food. 51% of Lake County IHSS workers are sometimes often unable to access medications due to concerns about the cost. 90% sometimes always say miss regular car maintenance because it's too expensive. Do you choose car maintenance where you get to a job, or do you choose food for your children to eat at the table? I choose feed my kids. Many Lake County IHS workers struggles to make ends meet due to low wages and inadequate benefits. They are paid $17.15 per hour, while estimated in the living area is $22.83. That's for one person with no children. So I have the page here for you guys all to look at. If you guys would like this, I can leave this with your. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, dear board. My name is Luisa Costa, and I'm going to be presenting you critical information that is very short and simple for you to review. So according to the state, under the wage supplement, the counties are able to offer up to $2.21 without getting into any financial issues. This document that I'm going to present to you will explain the 10% option and how it works. We know for a fact that this information has not been presented to you by your negotiator. We are willing to set up a meeting with the state to explain the formula of how it works and how you are able to afford to give all of your constituents livable wages in Lake County. So I'm going to pass this information out, and please review it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Frank.
Hello, my name is Frank Costner, and I'm here speaking on behalf of myself, not my agency, but I do work for a public utility in Lake County on the South Shore, and I'm here to talk about utility coordination and my experiences working on projects with Robin Boré. In the South County, we've been conducting utility coordination meetings with all the utility districts to address different issues that we have, projects that are coming up, and just general coordination so that we can all work well together. And that's where I met Robin, and I have worked on several projects with Robin. And it's my experience is that she is very strongly supports Lake County special districts, and that she likes to follow the rules and really to try to protect all the infrastructure of the water and the wastewater facilities that she runs. And so, like I said, all the utilities, we meet monthly, and all the utilities, experience some of the same issues as the county does. And so this interaction has been very positive for all the utilities. Sometimes outside agencies and developers, they don't want to pay the full way for their infrastructure and whatnot, and there's a lot of pushback against the utilities. My utility serves a severely disadvantaged community, and so it's very important for the developers to pay their own way. And so also, as a utility administrator, we have to follow the policies that supervisors and the boards make. We're not policymakers. We have to follow the policy. And my experience working with Robin is that she really wants to enforce the policies that the county supervisors have set. And so, my suggestion to developers and outside agencies that are unhappy with the policies that we have to follow is that they should petition the boards and the councils and whatnot to see if they can get those policies changed. It's really important for us to support the people in our community, because ultimately, if we give breaks to developers, that those people will pay, not the developers. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on up.
Good morning, board. My name is Lori Baca, and I've had the privilege of working for special districts for nearly 9 years now, during which I have served under 3 different administrators. I regularly watch the board meetings, and I seldom miss one. I've also followed the recent meetings where a lot of the public have voiced concerns about our department and our current administrator, Robin Boré. I felt it was important to offer a perspective from within the department. Robin has been with us for just over a year, and although she did not come from our department previously, she dove in head first. She has read every ordinance, every rule, every MOU, and she has worked tirelessly to understand both the technical and operational aspects of our work. She didn't just stop at learning, she immediately began improving. Robin has physically organized our office, streamlined our operations, and most importantly, united us as a team. When we lost our last administrator to retirement, boo, our department was left feeling stagnant and uncertain, and Robin arrived like a beacon of light, giving us direction and leadership that we needed. Her efforts were not only strengthening our department and our staff, But they are ultimately improving services for the most important group of all, which is our customers and our community. Of course, change is never easy. For years, our department operated steadily and sometimes stagnantly out of desire not to rock the boat. And as most of you know, most of the time when a new leader has come and they have new ideas, some feathers will definitely be ruffled. I hear it daily from both satisfied and dissatisfied customers, and I understand both sides because I too am a customer and also work as customer service. But from the inside, I can see the purpose and the necessity behind these changes. They're not personal choices, they're rooted in ordinances, and they're aimed at securing the long-term health of our districts and communities that we serve. In just a short time, Robin Bore has brought energy, organization, and vision to our department. She's given us what we so badly needed, which was a leadership that was both thoughtful and forward-moving. I truly believe her work will leave lasting benefits for our staff and our customers, and most importantly, the community. As board members, I know that you guys deal with a lot of the community frustrations. I hear it all the time too, so I can imagine what you guys have to deal with. But I hope that you will also consider the progress, the organization, and the sense of purpose that she's brought to her staff, who are dedicated to serving the county. Thanks.
Thank you. Come on up.
Good morning. My name is Joyce. I work with special districts. I'm not nearly as organized as Lori and have something, planned out. So this is on the fly. When Robin first came to our department, I was nervous. I was very nervous. I didn't know if I was going to like working for a lack of a better term, a strong woman. However, she has won me over like you wouldn't believe. I'm very hard to please in that area. So I'm just really here to say that she is amazing. She really, really is. She came in and she kicked butt. She cleaned up a bunch of stuff and, like she said, organized our whole office. And we're still in the process of that. And she is very, very much behind that. She's very much behind her employees, all of us. She came in and created an office and a department that follows the rules that were set before she came in. So I just want to say she's awesome. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment on Zoom, maybe? Oh, in the chambers, come on up.
Hello, my name is Skyla Lewa, and I'm going to be reading a letter that was sent to the Board of Supervisors on August 29th of 2025 in reference to failure to show the face and the torso of public speakers is an abridgment of nonverbal speech and violates the First Amendment right to free speech. My name is Skyla Lewa, and I'm speaking in regard to the Board of Supervisors meeting that was held on May 6th of 2025, and I am strongly requesting that the Board of Supervisors acknowledge publicly their failure to provide a public forum for my protected speech, since the Board of Supervisors live stream did not show my face or my t-shirt, but instead only showed a fraction of my back left arm. On May 6th, I had prepared written marks and had a ran handprint covering my mouth in honor of murdered and missing Indigenous people, and was wearing a printed t-shirt that read "Director Permanent because questioning authority is now a violation." And in a word bubble, "Respect my authority" in reference to the Community Development Director, Maria G. Turner's overbearing approach to marijuana growing in Lake County. My public comments were directed toward Turner, and she had purposely worn the t-shirt to highlight a community perspective on Turner because there was a planned employee review in closed session on the agenda that day. After I made my oral comments, I was discovered to find out that my nonverbal communication had not been shown on the live stream YouTube channel. Transparency and accountability in public meetings are critical to maintaining the trust between the government and its constituents, which requires the Board of Supervisors to honor the member of the public's right to free speech and open Board of Supervisors where public comment is taken. The government code requires that the legislative body must provide an opportunity for the public to address the legislative body and offer comment in real time. The Board of Supervisors has, at every live stream feed since January 1st of 2025, has shown the full frontal view of all public speakers except for the day on May 6th of 2025. And on that day is set for the recognition of the proclamation for the murdered and missing Indigenous people. The live stream was only set to show the back sleeve of every public speaker that day. This abridgment of the nonverbal speech of every public speaker on that day, including myself. The Board of Supervisors must do better and make this right, and I hereby request that the Board of Supervisors acknowledge this misstep in posting a live stream feed that did not show the speaker's face and their torso. I request that the Board of Supervisors make a public acknowledgement of this free speech error and acknowledge that this practice must be to show all public speakers' face and torso going forward. And I request this acknowledgement be added to the next Board of Supervisors agenda and that I must receive notice in addition so that I can attend the meeting on that day. Mulayam.
Thank you. Any other public comment on Zoom? All right. Unmute, please, and you have 3 minutes.
Good morning, board. I am here. My name is Sterling. I am from Spring Valley, and I am here to talk about the water loss and the fire hydrants that are being removed and capped during fire season. I really hope this can try to hit home with Owen and Pyska due to the fact that we're coming up on the Valley Fire reunion. Not only is our water being lost at a significant level of everything that I've sent all the board, if you also go in your emails, you will see the water leaks that were recorded by the residents. One of those leaks that you see was a video. Took 3 days for them to come out and fix. So you got to think about how many thousands of gallons of water was leaked there. I do understand that the office staff enjoys Robin. But also when you guys go into closed session today, I would really hope that you guys take into consideration all of the information I've compiled for you guys. The fact that Spring Valley is now not only the safety of over 1,000 people's lives with taking out fire hydrants and capping them, requesting that fire departments go and look for water elsewhere because they don't know if our water system will be able to have enough pressure. As you can see, those leaks, if there's not pressure, it's due to the leaks. And my concern is with this leadership, she could have came in and seen that this was like a major concern. And instead of trying to charge the customers the money, maybe looked into those grant funding from state and federal grants that actually pay for failing systems that are like ours, to where it's not out of pocket for the consumer and it pays for the safety of our community. Not only are we only one way in and one way out, now the county is jeopardizing the lives of our community, and it's very saddening that people don't see it that way. And I'm not going to give up this fight, and I really hope that you guys do take all the information I gave you and take it into consideration, especially Jessica. I mean, the Valley Fire, you lived through it. Owen, you lived through it. Every supervisor has since 2011 to 2021, 60% of our county has burnt down. So removing fire hydrants during a summer, the height of fire season, just does not seem responsible or great leadership. So really, please take that into consideration, and thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Any other public comment on Zoom?
No more hands in Zoom.
All right, I'll close public input at this time and move on to our 6.2 pet of the week.
Been a good dog.
Good morning. I'm Officer Early with Lake County Animal Care and Control, and this is Cece. She's about 3 months old. She's a boxer, and she was found stray in the Clear Lake Oaks. And when she was found, she had a couple foxtails in her eye, and unfortunately, the vet was unable to repair the damage caused by them. But she has become the most friendly puppy, and she does very well with other dogs as well. And she came in with one other sibling, and she's a total joy to be around. If you are curious about her or any of the other dogs at the shelter, You can come down to 4949 Hellbush Drive in Lakeport and see about her and any other animals you may be curious about. She's gotten all of her shots and she's spayed and ready to go home today. Have a good one.
Thank you. All right. We'll move on to our 6.3, new and noteworthy at the library. Christopher Veach, you have the floor.
Thank you. It's just getting everything situated here. So thank you for giving me a few minutes to talk about what's new and noteworthy at the library. This month, I want to highlight My Friends by Frederick Bachman, which has been incredibly popular in our system since it released earlier this year. My Friends is a deep dive into friendship, family, and the power of art. Frederick Bachman is a Swedish author and columnist. His first novel, A Man Called Uwe, was an international success, and he has been published many more novels since. Bachman's books have been published in more than 25 languages. My Friends tells a funny and moving story of 4 teenagers whose friendship changes a stranger's life 25 years later. A young artist, Louisa, finds a mysterious painting and journeys to uncover the story behind the figures within it, a testament to the transformative power of friendship and art. Karen Belovich writes for the Chicago Review of Books. This novel takes an in-depth look at friendship and what it means to be a friend, to be so close and to know each other so well, to have a bond so deep that it can create an unforgettable and cherished work of art, capturing one moment in time that will affect the life of a young woman 25 years in the future. My Friends is available now in print, audiobook, and ebook through our library system, and you can request this book or other materials through our online library catalog, which has the combined resources of Lake, Sonoma, and Mendocino County library systems. Requesting items is free, and items are sent to your local branch for you to pick up. And I also want to announce that September is National Library Card Sign-Up Month. So please help us encourage county residents to get a free library card and reap the benefits of everything the library has to offer. Getting a library card is free, and you can apply at your local branch over the phone or on our website. So if you know someone that doesn't have their library card yet, send them over to the library. And you can learn more about our library system at our website at library.lakecountyca.gov, or come visit your local library branch in Lakeport, Clear Lake, Middletown, Upper Lake, or on the Bookmobile. Thanks again for listening to what's new and noteworthy at the library.
Thank you, Christopher. Any comments on this or input? No? All right, we'll go on to our next item, our 6.4. Presentation of proclamation designating the week of September 8th through 13th, 2025 as Suicide Prevention Week and the day of September 10th as World Suicide Prevention Day. No. Do we need a couple minutes? Oh, okay, come on up, and I don't know who's going to read this proclamation. Is there? I can. I will. Yeah, well, we're waiting for the thing anyhow. I'll read the proclamation.
Carrie? Doing well.
So I'm glad to read this. I have a lot of family members that have passed from suicide. So it's really rampant on Indian country through the nation. So I can't count how many relatives and friends that I've lost. Not only Native American friends, but also veterans. So it's important to read this, and it's important to be ensuring that we talk about this and we recognize this week. So I will read this proclamation designating the week of September 8th through 13th, 2025 as Suicide Prevention Week and the day of September 10th, 2025 as World Suicide Prevention Day. Whereas September is recognized as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month and the week of September 8th through September 13th is National Suicide Prevention Week, which individuals, organizations, and communities bring awareness to the ongoing epidemic of suicide, bring hope to those who are struggling, offer support to those who have lost loved ones, educate and destigmatize, provide resources and community outreach to the community to continue to prevent suicide. Whereas suicide remains the 11th leading cause of death in the United States with 49,316 deaths by suicide in 2023, or one death every 11 minutes. 12.8 million people have thoughts of suicide, 3.7 million have made plans to attempt suicide, and 1.5 million who have attempted suicide. Whereas Lake County has the second highest rate of suicide per capita in California with 16 confirmed deaths per 100,000 total population by suicide in 2021. Whereas suicide affects everyone regardless of age, ethnicity, or background, and promoting and maintaining individual and community wellness, knowing the signs and symptoms of suicide, and provide adequate services to those in need will continually help in reducing and preventing suicide. Whereas recognizing the urgency of providing prevention and intervention services available to all residents of Lake County, including those who are at high risk. Whereas there are resources available, including the 988 crisis line and text line, 741741 crisis text line, and 800-900-2075 Lake County Behavioral Health Crisis Line for anyone who may be experiencing suicidal ideation or are concerned above someone they know who may be experiencing suicidal ideation. The Lake County Behavioral Health Prevention Team has trained 400 youth and adult community members in suicide prevention in 2025. Whereas community members are urged to take action for suicide prevention and strive for zero suicides by contacting Lake County Behavioral Health Services for more information regarding suicide prevention and education efforts in and around Lake County. And whereas the month of September is recognized across the United States as Suicide Prevention Month to bring awareness and prevention to each community to help find their role in preventing suicide. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by Lake County Behavioral Health Services and all members of the Lake County Board of Supervisors that the week of September 8th through 13th, 2025 is designated Suicide Prevention Week, and the day of September 10th, 2025 is declared World Suicide Prevention Day. Passed and adopted this 9th day of September 2025 and signed by myself, Chair of the Board of Supervisors. We're going to get someone to sign it, and then who wants to come up and speak on this? Is there anybody here?
You can go first.
All right. By all means.
Hi, my name is Megan Morgan. I'm the community liaison at Lake County Behavioral Health Services. And Elise was very sorry she intended to be here today and wasn't able to. So she asked me to say a few things. And I just want to take a moment and say that this is deeply personal to me. I have also lost family members and friends to suicide. I myself have been somebody who has made plans to end my own life, and I didn't expect to be here today. So to have this, to see this, is really, really impactful. So I wasn't expecting to speak today, so sorry, I'm gonna go off my list. But I wanna take a moment to say to anyone who is feeling hopeless that you are not alone. I know that when you're struggling with thoughts of suicide, it can feel like the world may be better off without you, but I promise it won't be. I say that as someone who has been there myself, and it may sound trite, but it really does get better. I want to take a moment to dispel a common myth that I hear as well. And if you're worried that someone you love may be considering suicide, it is okay to ask them directly. There's a common myth that asking someone that will put the idea into someone's head, but research shows that's really not true. Asking directly can open the door to hope, support, and even saving a life. Help is available right here in our community. Lake County's mobile crisis team is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere here in the county. That phone number is 1-800-900-2075. And I just want to take a moment to say sometimes calling isn't the right answer. That's where things like 988 come into play. You can text 988 if that's really what you need for support. If you or someone you care about is in crisis, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you'd like to learn more about how to support others in our community, please reach out to our offices for trainings at 274-9101. And we're here for you and you're not alone. There's no wrong door for getting help, and recovery is possible.
Anyone from the board? Vice Chair.
Well, I just want to thank all of our agencies and collaborating partners for their work that they do in this area. I've been in situations where I've, lost several people that I worked closely with. But I appreciate the work that's being done. I've also had the opportunity to take some of your training, and I think that's great to have out in our community, so thank you.
I just want to say thank you for those that are picking up the phone on the other side of the hotline. It makes perfect sense what you said, Megan, about just even asking the question doesn't lead to suicide. It potentially leads to help, because having someone that shows they care, having someone that listens, sometimes that's just what's needed to help turn the corner. So I think there's kind of some unsung heroes that never get seen that are picking up phones and that are that voice that helps people through it. And they may not be here today, all of them, but very thankful for all of those. And I do want to highlight that I have concerns. I think we all share the same concerns. We do every 3 years, I think it is, we do a community health needs assessment. We know we also have some really high depression rates when it comes to our youth, and our suicide rates for our youth are also elevated. And so I know that our current CHNA, I don't want to kill the thunder for the upcoming CHNA presentation we'll be having, but economic development has a lot to do with helping those that are feeling powerless, that are feeling hopeless, that are just having those suicidal ideations. So there's a lot of things that can be done. It's not just a voice. We can also help and turn our community around in different ways. But just wanted to highlight those things, and thankful for everybody that picks up those phones.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak on this? All right. All right.
So this is very personal to me, and not a lot of people know, but I lost my son, who was 18 years old when he committed suicide. He would be 28 this year. And so this is very personal to me, and I just want to thank for all you guys do. And I feel like I was brought here today for a reason, and I wish that I would have seen the warning signs. There was signs, and so I think it would have been really important for me to understand the resources that are available. But I just want to thank you for all of your work and for everything that you do, so thank you.
Anyone else? All right, Sam, I think.
Waiting for one more. Wow, that's nice. Oh, this is nice. Okay, sorry. You are color coordinated. Okay, let me just do one more just in case. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, welcome back from our break. We'll come back to our next item, which is our 6.5. We'll be sitting as the Lake County Housing Commission, and Ms. Deborah Figueroa has come up, as she is one of our housing commissioners as well. So we'll go ahead and read the item, which is 6.5, consideration of the subordination agreement pertinent to loans associated with the Pallison Place housing project, and authorize myself to sign Chair Crandall to sign on behalf of the Lake County Housing Commission. And B, consideration of the estoppel certificate pertinent to loans associated by the Palisson Place Housing Project, and authorize myself, Chair Crandall, to sign on behalf of the Lake County Housing Commission. Matthew.
Good morning, Supervisors and Lake County Housing Commission members. Matthew Rothstein, Chief Deputy County Administrative Officer. As you are aware, Rural Communities Housing Development Corporation, or RCHDC, developed the Palisson Place Housing Project located in Nice, California. RCHDC is now seeking a 6-month construction loan extension for the project. To further this process, 2 documents are needed from the county. The first is a subordination agreement affirming that the county remains junior lien holder. This document has been vetted by the California Department of Housing and Community Development, County Council, and RCHDC's own team and project partners. And again, the county is currently junior lien holder and will remain so as a result of today's action. Second, an estoppel certificate which confirms the outstanding principal balances and that no default has occurred on county facilitated loans associated with the project. And Angie Figueroa from RCHDC is present and can answer any further questions your board may have surrounding this item. Thank you.
All right.
Good,
Go ahead.
Sorry. Good morning, Board. Angie Figueroa, Development Director with RCHDC, here to answer any questions regarding our request. Thank you.
All right. Any questions from the board? Supervisor Sabatier?
Yeah, just a brief question. The reason for the extension, from what I understand, is due to some delays in the project itself. I think it was due to PG&E. Just wanted to clarify that and just get it in public record.
Yes, we had some delays with getting PG&E out to perform the work that needed to get done. And it cost roughly a 1 month or so delay, but just that 1 month put us behind on our timeline in regards to the construction loan commitment that we had. And we did have some extensions built into the agreement. So this is simply just getting that formal approval. And these 2 documents will also support closing on the state funding that is coming in at permanent loan closing, which is scheduled to occur next week. And so we will have funding from the state No Place Like Home program come in and pay off what is left of the construction loan and move on to the permanent process.
And I was curious about the, thank you for that. I was curious about the timeline for the repayment of the junior loans.
That is, we have the 55-year loan term for the junior loans, and the county loans, they are all based on residual receipts. So it's based off a percentage. We have the county loans as well as the No Place Like Home loan that is coming in. So I believe the No Place Like Home state loan is roughly 70% of the residual receipts will go to them, 30% to the county. But we will have the 55-year term for payoff.
And during that term, the housing and the way that it's being rented and utilized is enforced to continue during that term. Is that correct?
Correct,
All right.
yes.
Thank you.
Of course.
All right. Any other questions from the board? Anyone from the public? On Zoom? I'll bring it back to the board.
I move that we approve the subordination agreement pertinent to loans associated with the Palisson Place Housing Project and authorize Chair Crandall to sign on behalf of the Lake County Housing Commission.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Next.
Approve the estoppel certificate pertinent to the loans associated with Palisson House Housing Project and authorize Chair Crandall to sign on behalf of the Lake County Housing Commission.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries 6-0. All right, well, thank you for that, and I need to sign these. Yep, that is it.
That's 6-0.
6-0.
Thank you. You're right.
There you go.
I didn't.
All right.
Bye.
All right, next
Good to
is,
see you.
thank you, Deborah. Appreciate it. Next is our 6.6, consideration. We are now sitting back as the Board of Supervisors. Consideration of a second reading for A, an ordinance establishing regulations and development standards for the Gwinnett Valley Zoning District or GVD District. B, an ordinance amending Section 21-3.7 of Chapter 21 of the Ordinance Code of the County of Lake by adopting a sectional district zoning map number 3.7B. 1, rezoning the lands for the Gwinnett Valley Mixed Use Plan Development Project, and C, an ordinance amending the Section 21-3.7 of Chapter 21 of the Ordinance Code of the County of Lake by adopting a sectional district zoning map 3.7B, number 3.7B, and 1, rezoning the lands for the Gwinnett Valley Mixed Use Planning Development Project, Santa Clara Housing Site. Community Development Director, Maria Turner.
Good morning. Mireya Turner, Community Development Director. At your last meeting, the board considered the Gwinnett Valley Mixed Use Plan Development Project. You unanimously approved a number of resolutions and ordinances that were attached to that project. Whereas resolutions can be adopted immediately, ordinances require a first and second reading. And so at the last meeting, the first reading was approved and 3 ordinances were advanced to today's meeting and are before you today for their second reading and potential adoption. The first one establishes development standards and guidelines and regulations for the Gwinnett Valley District. This is a new zoning district overlay. The other 2 are both rezones. One is establishing that new Gwinnett Valley District over the project area, and the second one is rezoning a portion of a parcel on Santa Clara for the Santa Clara Workforce Housing Site. Staff does recommend adoption of these ordinances. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
No.
I'll open it up to the public. Is there anyone from the public? Zoom? Bring it back to the board. Go ahead.
I have just one thing to add, and I know it was brought up at the last one, and that was to look for an additional way out of the Santa Clara building site so that they're not both right together. And if we could look at something around the area coming out onto Butts Canyon Road. No, Big Canyon Road, I'm sorry, near the school.
You mean a secondary egress?
Yes.
Awesome. Noted. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. With that, go ahead, Lloyd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If your board is ready, since there are 3 ordinances, I could walk your board
Yes,
through
please.
on the second reading part of it for approval.
Yes.
So for the first one, it would be offering the ordinance establishing regulations and development standards for the Gwinnett Valley Zoning District or GVD District based on the findings in the board memorandum dated August 26, 2025.
I'd like to make that offer, as stated.
Resolution has been offered. Do we have the motion seconded, or is it offered? Okay.
All right.
Resolution's been offered.
Supervisor Owen.
Aye.
Supervisor Spatier.
Aye.
Supervisor Rasmussen.
Aye.
Supervisor Pyska.
Yes.
And Supervisor Crandall.
Aye. Resolution is passed.
Ordinance.
Or ordinance, I'm sorry.
And so the second item or sub-item would be offering the ordinance titled, an ordinance amending section 21-3.7 of chapter 21 of the Ordinance Code of the County of Lake by adopting a sectional district zoning map number 3.7B 1.408, rezoning the lands for the Gwinnett Valley Mixed Use Plan Development Project.
I need to offer that,
Offered.
offer the ordinance as stated.
Ordinance has been offered.
Supervisor Owen.
Aye.
Supervisor Spatier.
Aye.
Supervisor Rasmussen.
Aye.
Supervisor Pyska.
Yes.
And Supervisor Crandall.
Aye. Ordinance passes 5-0.
And third and last sub-item would be offering the ordinance amending section 21-3.7 of chapter 21 of the ordinance code of the County of Lake by adopting a sectional district zoning map number 3.7B 1.409 based on the findings in the board memorandum dated August 26, 2025.
Offer
The
ordinance as stated.
ordinance has been offered.
Supervisor Owen.
Aye.
Supervisor Sabatier.
Aye.
Supervisor Rasmussen.
Aye.
Supervisor Pyska.
Yes.
And Supervisor Crandall.
Aye. That ordinance passes 5-0.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes,
thank you.
please.
Just for clarification on that second sub-item, that was also based on the findings in the board memorandum dated August 26, 2025, the offering of that ordinance.
Okay. Do we need to do anything else or just, okay. Well, thank you very much for that. And with that, we'll close that portion of the agenda and move on to our 6.7. Public hearing, consideration of resolution approving resolution number 2025-5 submitted by North Shore Fire Protection District and making findings and requesting the County of Lake to implement fire mitigation fees with the automatic inflation pursuant to the Lake County Fire Mitigation Fee Ordinance fiscal year 2025-2026, continued from August 5th and August 19th. CAO Parker.
Good morning. Sorry. Thank you, Chair. The staff requests that the board consider and offer this resolution for North Lake Fire Protection District.
All right. Any questions? Supervisor Sabatier?
Just for clarification, there's a lot of different resolutions. The one that we are approving today, at least the resolution we are approving is related to the NFPD amended resolution 2025-5, 2025 fees corrected on 9/9/2025.
Okay, that's what.
That is correct.
Yep.
That's the 1.77
Yes.
increase.
Or 1.6166.
6166, okay. And I have one more thing I'd like to mention on that. In the first reading, it stated that there was no ceiling, and I'd like to, and in the second one, it didn't mention a ceiling. So I wanted to make sure that it's not an open-ended ceiling.
Supervisor Sabatier?
I know that in the Nexus study and the ordinance changes that we made, there was not a cap on the potential. I think this is based on building CPI, like some sort of CPI, but mostly specific to building development. That there was no cap set at that moment in time, and I don't think that's in today's purview to change that. It's possible to come back with a different ordinance amendment in the future if that's the case, but at this moment in time, you're correct, there is no ceiling.
Okay.
All right. Anything else from the board? We'll open it up to the public if there's anyone that has a comment on this.
Good morning, Patrick Reitz, Lakeport Fire. You said North Lake Fire. North Shore. I just wanted to confirm that it was North Shore, not North Lake. So, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief Pat. Anyone on Zoom?
Trying to create a new district.
All right, we'll bring it back to the board for actions in my district, but please, by all means, anybody make.
Mr. Chair, I'd offer the resolution.
Resolution has been offered.
I'll second that.
Supervisor Owen.
Aye.
Supervisor Sabatier.
Aye.
Supervisor Rasmussen.
Aye.
Supervisor Pyska.
Yes.
And Supervisor Crandall.
Aye. Resolution passes 5-0-0. All right, thank you on that. Next, 6.8, consideration of presentation of crop report plus economic contributions of Lake County agriculture. Catherine Vanderwall, you will have the floor. And we have our packets.
Oh, you got the presentation. Great. All right. Good morning, Chair Crandall and board members. Catherine Vanderwall, Agricultural Commissioner, Sealer of Weights and Measures. Today, I'm here to introduce you to Dr. Jeff Langholz. He is with the Agricultural Impact Associates, who put this report together, and will be presenting to you the newest edition of the economic contributions of Lake County agriculture. As your board may be aware, this study was last completed in 2019, utilizing our 2017 crop report data. In past conversations with your board, there has been inquiries made about having an update to this report, which is what we'll be presenting today. So this report goes beyond the traditional crop and livestock report that we publish each year that is mandated by California Food and Ag Code, Section 2279, for all agricultural commissioners throughout the state. This report extends beyond crop production values and acreage and expands to the total economic contributions of agriculture in the county. As with the crop and livestock report, this report is another tool that can be used for a variety of purposes, including policy decisions, land use planning, and as a resource for various groups, including industry groups and advisory groups to your board, such as the Lake County Food Policy and the Ag Advisory. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Jeff Langhold.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Vanderwalt, and greetings, Chair Crandall and supervisors. My name is Jeff Langholtz. I'll be presenting the kind of a high-level summary of the new Economic Contributions Report. I'll just give a quick caveat to the entire audience. People joke that the field of economics is called the dismal science for good reason. It's called the dismal science because all these facts and figures and formulas in economics can get kind of dreary. But hopefully today it won't be too dismal. This is relevant to anybody who appreciates food, especially food that's healthy, abundant, and affordable. That's why we're here today. With that, let's dive in. Commissioner Vanderwall mentioned some of the reasons why we do this report, and a big one behind the annual crop and livestock report and this one is a mandate from the state. Section 2279 of the California Food and Ag Code requires every county to report the value of agriculture. And usually that's just the production value. But now, thanks to modern economic tools, we can go beyond production value. We can get the production value plus locally sourced value-added food processing. We can quantify employment and multiplier effects. And speaking of multiplier effects, I'd just like to clarify what those are. There are two kinds of multiplier effects. These are the ripples that are created in the economy from any kind of economic activity. When it comes to agriculture, we have indirect multiplier effects. Those are that consists of local business-to-business spending by ag companies. For example, the farmers and ranchers buy vehicles and fuel and seeds and insurance and veterinary services, banking, fertilizer, chemicals, contract work, and more than a dozen other things. And when they buy those things from the local economy within Lake County, it creates these ripples, these indirect effects, and we can measure those now. The other type of economic ripple are these induced effects. This is local consumer spending or consumption spending by the people who work in agriculture in Lake County. It's not just the people who work directly for a farm or a ranch or a processor, but also the employees of those who provide the supplies. For example, when they get their paychecks, they go buy groceries and healthcare and housing and utilities and clothing and transportation, education, entertainment. They go get haircuts, they go to movies, and so on. So all this money from agriculture ripples through these employees in the Lake County economy as well, and we can measure that. I'll get to the punchline here. The main findings of the study are that when you add up these things, it's a total of about $300.2 million. That's for the year 2023, which is the most recent year for which we have complete data. And that consists of three things. That's the farm production, $140 million. You'll see that amount in the annual crop and livestock report. And then we add in the local processing of wine grapes and pears and other items, and that adds another $83.9 million to the county economy. And then the multiplier effects, both kinds, indirect and induced, that are these ripples throughout the economy. When we measure those, they total $75.9 million. And that's how we get to that total, 300.2. Now, agricultural work is very seasonal, but if you were to magically spread it out evenly across an entire year, it works out to $822,400 per day that agriculture is contributing to the Lake County economy. The next topic is employment. The agricultural industry supported 2,107 total jobs. Most of those are direct jobs within the agricultural industry, but another 647 are attributable to those ripples, those multiplier effects that I discussed. One last topic, and that is economic diversification. You've all heard the term, don't put all your eggs in one basket, because if the basket falls, then you might lose all of your eggs, as the picture shows here. Economic diversification is like insurance against shocks. And boy, if you're a farmer or a rancher, you've got a long list of things to worry about that could go wrong, that could affect your industry. For example, price drops, disease outbreaks, new regulations, new competitors, price spikes for key inputs such as labor, COVID pandemic, catastrophic wildfires. The list goes on and on. Recently, you can add trade policies such as tariffs. It's a long list. Any one of these can undermine agriculture. So fortunately, there's a formula we can use to measure the level of economic diversification within an industry or even within a county economy. And when we use that formula for Lake County's agricultural industry, we get the score, the index. It's 0.26. That's on a 1-point scale. So you can see it's around the bottom quarter or so. Overall, this is a somewhat low level of economic diversification within agriculture, which provides limited economic resilience within agriculture or to the wider county economy to some of those shocks to the system that were on the previous slide. The level of economic diversification within the county's ag industry is not only low, but it seems to be declining over the years. This slide shows the trend over the 10-year period starting in 2014. You can see it was 0.34 back then, and it's dropped to 0.26 by 2023. There is an upside. The good news is, and this is a quote from the report, the presence of a livestock sector alongside crops gives Lake County shock absorbers when markets or weather swing. California's cattle and specialty crop sectors have low to negative correlations. When crops are down, livestock tends to do okay, and vice versa. And so that provides, the presence of livestock here provides portfolio level risk reduction to the ag industry. I look forward to opening it up to your questions and comments in a moment, but first I'll just mention the key messages. First, ag has a large economic input, over $300 million for 2023. That's more than twice the amount you would see in the crop and livestock report for that year. Second, it's significant employment, over 2,000 jobs, directly and indirectly supported. And third, somewhat limited resilience. Ag has a low economic diversification score. I'll be happy to open it up to your questions and comments, and hopefully that wasn't too dismal for economics. Thank you.
Supervisor Pyska?
Well, thank you, Catherine, for putting this report together. It is something that we've been asking for several years to really understand the overall context. And I just wanted to ask how much this report cost. 'Cause I know it's a lot of extra work.
I know the approximate value, but I want to give you the exact figure. Okay. Okay, so the exact figure was $31,840.
Great. Well, I think that's money well spent. Thank you so much.
Supervisor Sabatier?
So I appreciate this report. It's always good to get an update rather than think that we're kind of on a steady increase or flat line. It's good to know where we are. We are an agricultural county. We should be keeping the finger on the pulse to understand what's going on and what's not going on. Some of what was discussed was not dismal, was actually really good news. Seeing how that expanded ripple effect really impacts our community is always good to see. But I do have a concern and a comment, and that is in the decrease in the Shannon-Weaver index that we've been seeing over the last decade. So basically our diversification of agriculture is decreasing slowly. Is that a trend that you are seeing everywhere in the state of California? Is that impacted also outside of the state of California, or are we somewhat unique in what we're experiencing here?
Thank you for the question. It had to do with whether this trend towards declining economic diversification is unique to Lake County. And the answer is we're seeing it across the state of California. More counties are seeing a decline than are not. Increasingly, counties are becoming increasingly dependent on one or two main crops. For example, almonds in the Central Valley or berries along the coast. So it's not unusual to see this long-term trend toward a decline in economic diversification.
Appreciate that. I think this report, Commissioner Vanderwall, this is exactly what I wanted to see for the Food Policy Council. I think this is good grant funding material to share with whatever funding we can find to try and enhance and diversify and continue, because we can look at this pie chart here where fruits and nuts are 96.1% of our agriculture, and the whole concept behind the Food Policy Council is to add outside of that percentage in order to try and see what else agriculture can provide and produce here. So exciting to see. It gives us the reality of where we are, and I really appreciate having this up-to-date report so we can move forward from here. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great report. I appreciate all the details in here. Will this be available on the website for the public to access?
Yes, I will link it to our department webpage. There are also some copies up front here, so anybody in the room, please help yourself. If anybody else would like an additional bound copy, they will be available at the office.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Helen.
I had a quick question. It had stated that this year at 300,175,000 has exceeded by far the 140,000 from 2023 value. Can you explain that just real quick?
Sure. The reason why the total contribution is 300 million rather than 140 that you see in the annual crop and livestock report is because we have these modern tools that allow us to measure the value of local food processing and also these economic ripple effects. And when we add those two extra pieces of the puzzle to the first one, all three of them add up to 300 million.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Supervisor Spotted.
Just a random question, and maybe it's outside of your scope, but there's stories coming out of difficult times right now. Sometimes it's the tariffs, sometimes it's insurance, sometimes it's other issues that are just getting more and more expensive. What are you seeing in the direction that ag is going right now, if you can share any kind of professional opinion on that?
Sure. What I'm seeing in other counties across the state, especially data from the most recent census of agriculture. Every 5 years, the U.S. Department does a census of agriculture for every count. We get really good data from every county in the country. And it's a more complete study than what you get from the annual crop and livestock reports that are survey-based. According to the census for California County agriculture, when I look at those numbers, it seems that the costs of production are rising much faster than the revenues.
Oh, sorry about that. They gave me some to sign. The questions. All right, I will open it up to the public. If there's any comments, please come on up.
Good morning, Tom Lasik. If I can indulge going back to the comment about the diversification in the livestock, and someone with an economics degree myself, I am excited to see all sorts of numbers, so it makes me really happy. But you mentioned the livestock being sort of a neutralizer, a mediator of the impact of the lack of or the lesser diversification that we have. Does that also extend to rangeland and pasture land that supports the livestock, or is that considered separate? And again, I want to thank everybody. This is great. This is really a good report. So thanks for all the work you guys did. And I'll leave it at that.
Fantastic. I would say that the shock absorber effect that livestock has is part and parcel with the land that support the livestock, including rangeland and pasture land.
Any other comments from public on Zoom?
Good morning, supervisors. Excuse me, Angela Amaral. Thank you. I wanted to thank Commissioner Vanderwall and staff for the very insightful report. I was just curious if there was one ag commodity that was not included in this report, and that's cannabis. Do you feel that cannabis is having any impact on the diversification rating? As would be my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Angela. I cannot speak to the diversification rating, but I just can say that we don't have enough information on cannabis, and that it's, for the last several years to even include it in our traditional crop report as far as the value of it.
And I'll just add, for that very reason, we did not include cannabis in the calculations for the diversification index over the last 10 years.
All right, any other comments on Zoom?
I have a quick question.
I'll bring it back and go ahead, Supervisor Owen.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Is it included in the revenues on this? No. Okay, thank you.
All right. With that, it looks like this report is concluding, and I appreciate all the work you put into it. Thank you very much. We'll see you at the next one. And
Great.
if there's anything else you would like to add? Yeah.
I just want to take a minute to thank your board for the continued support of agriculture in Lake County, my department. I'd also like to thank all the producers, farmers and ranchers who contribute their information every year to make the crop report possible. I'd also like to extend a big thanks to Dr. Jeff and his team for putting this together and also in such a wonderful layout, as well as being here to present the information.
Yes, really well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. We'll move on to our next item. 6.9, administer the oath of office to Robert S. Bernstein, MD, MPH, as County Health Officer. I think so. Yes, it's on.
Hello, doctor. Raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Robert S. Bernstein,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I will take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the health officer
and I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the health officer
in and for the county of Lake upon which I am about to enter.
in and for the County of Lake for which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
If there's anything you would like to say?
Well, I'm very pleased to be here and to have the opportunity to take the oath here in front of the supervisors. I welcome the opportunity to meet with you individually or as a group, and on any occasion when questions come up. As you well know, there are lots of confusions and concerns because of differences between what the federal government is recommending and what states and local communities are concerned about. We're lucky to have as our state public health officer, Dr. Erica Pan, and we're lucky to be among the western states, which is establishing a coalition, a healthcare coalition, to address some of these differences. I, as a health officer for the county, will, of course, as I just said in my oath, be attending to the Constitution of the United States and California, and also depending on leadership that we are lucky to have at the state level in California. And again, I'm happy to meet with you individually on any occasion when you have concerns.
All right, thank you for that. Well, welcome aboard. I don't know if anyone...
Welcome to the county.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy you're here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Dr. Bernstein.
Thank you. All right, any public input from this? In case there's anybody from the public that'd like to speak on this? All right. None on Zoom? All right. Next is our 6.10, presentation of proclamation honoring lives and resilience 10 years since the Valley Fire, and B, consideration of a purchase of a bronze plaque to present to the Middletown Rancheria of Pomo Indians in recognition of their steadfast support, collaboration, and community service during times of disaster.
Can those be separated out?
Yeah, one at a time.
Yes.
Yes.
The proclamation.
Okay.
Supervisor Pyska and
I want to invite everybody that's here for this proclamation to come up. We've got all kinds of folks that are here that have been really amazing strategic partners over the years, including department heads, community development, public health. Lauren, you can come up too. Oh, come on. Do you want to come up?
You got it? All right.
All right, Board of Supervisors, County of Lake, State of California, proclamation honoring lives and resilience 10 years since the Valley Fire. Whereas on September 12, 2015, the Valley Fire ignited near Cobb Mountain, becoming the third most destructive wildfire in California history at that time, burning 76,067 acres, destroying 1,955 structures, and forever altering the landscape of Lake County. Whereas the Valley Fire claimed the lives of 5 residents: Bruce Bevan Burns, Robert Taylor Fletcher, Robert Lickman, Barbara McWilliams, and Leonard Neft, and seriously injured 4 firefighters, reminding us of the profound human cost of wildfire. And whereas the Valley Fire displaced thousands, caused hardship for countless families, and left indelible scars upon our communities. And whereas the fire also revealed the strength of Lake County and its partners as neighbors, first responders, emergency management, and law enforcement, mutual aid, local government agencies, tribal nations, nonprofits, and volunteers came together to protect lives, aid survivors, and begin the long road to recovery. And whereas lessons learned from the Valley Fire continue to shape preparedness, response, and recovery efforts locally and across California, strengthening our resilience and guiding investments in fire prevention, stronger partnerships, and community education. And whereas the courage of first responders, the compassion of volunteers, and the leadership shown in the face of adversity serve as a lasting testament to Lake County's spirit of resilience and unity. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Lake hereby recognize the 10th anniversary of the Valley Fire, honors the lives lost, expresses gratitude to all who aided in wildfire response, recovery, and calls upon the people of Lake County to continue building a safer, stronger, and more resilient future. Passed and adopted this 9th day of September 2025, signed by the Chair of the Board of Supervisors, Eddie Crandall. So I want to thank all of you for coming today. It's been a lot of work preparing for this really big milestone, and so much has happened over the last 10 years, but we were in the fog of repeated disasters. We had very little blue skies time until just recently for us to, I think, really reflect on what we've been through together, who stepped up as leaders, and how we've built these really significant collaborations throughout our partners. We've really come a long way. So that's what this event really is for me. This whole week I've been reflecting on where we were 10 years ago and how far we've come together. And I saw the fire start from my house. It started at, the original tone out was at 1:24 p.m. And I saw it from my house. And I took a picture and I put it on Facebook 16 minutes later. And people saw that. That was the only alert that we had back then. and I packed my kids were 3 and 6. I would put them in the car with my dog and my chickens, and my husband and I were leaving. And as I pulled out of my driveway, I realized that people in my neighborhood did not know what was going on. And we went door to door, trying to get people. They were taking naps, they were inside. It was a hot day, they had their air conditioning on. And one of my neighbors is one of the people that didn't make it. And so I think about all the changes that have happened in our Office of Emergency Services, our partnership with Cal OES, the fact that we have watch duty now, we have Genesis, we have zones, we have people prepared, we have training, we have so many things that have happened, that have brought us to this point where we're not hopefully going to lose lives anymore, especially in the middle of the day. We've built an incredible partnership with the Middletown Rancheria. They've opened their doors so many times without hesitation to shelter people, to feed people, with no expectation of ever being reimbursed or paid, because we care about each other. We have nonprofits, faith-based organizations, volunteers, government agencies. We've all been transformed. But what really didn't get talked a lot about are our county leaders who stepped up, because every county worker is a disaster worker. And when you get that call, you do whatever you're asked. And a lot of our leaders are gone now. It was 10 years ago, so they've moved on, they've retired. But a lot of the county leaders that you see here grew up during that time. And you are carrying on that legacy, and our agencies have all been transformed. All of the work that we do now is different. So I want to take this moment to really recognize all of you who have been in service for the last 10 years, making our community safer, getting through this grind of recovery, which it really, really has been. But I feel like we're on the other side of that right now, and we can appreciate how far we've come together. So I just wanted to really make sure that all of you have my heartfelt thanks for the work that you've done and you continue to do, and that we're going to do together in the future. And I'll pass it.
Comes with being the sheriff. So I was a sergeant when the Valley Fire started in 2015 at that time, and I've progressed through to the top position in the sheriff's office. My parents actually lost their house in the Valley Fire, so I feel that from that perspective side of things. But I'd like to echo what Supervisor Pyska said. From that time till today, ever the optimist, I've seen the progression in the sheriff's office, in OES, in CDD, the collaboration among the community, and how we've progressed from 2015 to where we are today in our response. For an example, in the sheriff's office, immediately when we get notified of a fire, we automatically send a supervisor to embed with CAL FIRE, immediately. We didn't do that in the early 2000s. We do that immediately now, so we get that firsthand information. The communication with our community is so much better now because of the systems that we have in place. And we're always looking at new systems. We're always looking at everything that we're doing, and we're evaluating it and saying, can we do this better? And we learned that in 2015. We were kind of stagnant in 2015. No fault of anybody's. I think the entire community was that way. We hadn't experienced a tragedy like that. And unfortunately, we had to kickstart where we are today. And I've seen the improvements out of that, and we still have that mindset in the sheriff's office and in OES, where we're constantly looking at what we're doing, how we're servicing our community, how we're notifying our community, and how can we do it better. And that all was born out of this tragedy from 2015.
Hi, my name's Tavi Granger, and I was sent to Twin Pine and just told to go there and find a man named Moke. So I go there to find a man named Moke, and I go up to one guy that looks official, and he says, I'm not Moke. And I go up to another guy, and I say, are you Moke? And he said, no, when you meet Moke, you'll know him. So I did, and I do, and I just want to say I appreciate his opening up for us, his wife Nancy, that they were both very helpful and always included us in everything, and I just wanted to say thank you.
My name's Kelly Page. I'm a deputy director at Social Services. And when this event happened, we were all such babies in disaster response. We did not know what to do. Tavi was sent there. I was sent the following day and told, just manage the shelter. We didn't know what to do. We had no playbook to follow. So we quickly just leaned on compassion and flexibility. And that's really what we used to get through the next several weeks. We both walked through the door at the shelter at Twin Pine, and I don't think we left for a month and a half, maybe 2 months. And that just became my job. And it was the most rewarding time, but also a very difficult time. And I do want to thank the Middletown Rancheria for all the support we received there. It was very heartwarming to see our community come together. Sorry, I'm choked up.
It's okay.
I'm Shannon Kimball Oth, and at the time of the Valley Fire, I was a pastor here in Lakeport and completely new to disaster response until, for those of you that remember, John Chavez from FEMA came and said, please be part of the long-term recovery. It was in that process that I met Jessica and Moke and so many others. As a pastor at that time, I will tell you that I was deeply moved by the trauma in our county and our community, and I am well familiar with that trauma. Now, many years later, I work in the Red Cross. I don't think I would work for the Red Cross if it wasn't for that 2015 experience. But in particular, I am glad that Jessica lifted up the Middletown tribe for their openness. And I wanted to say that it wasn't just the Valley Fire. It has been every disaster since then. We have a before and an after the Valley Fire, but after the Valley Fire, this tribe opened up their event center for the Valley Fire in 2015, for the Clayton Fire in 2016, for the winter floods of 2017, for the Sulphur Fire in 2017, for the Mendocino Complex Fire in 2018, for our first common public safety power shutoff in 2019, in 2021, for what we now know are ongoing power safety shutoffs. In 2023, they opened the first open to the entire county warming center during a snowstorm. In 2024, they opened for the Boyles Fire and for the Harbor Fire and for so many other things after. And somebody, when I was like kind of going through this list, we were talking about it. Somebody said, well, wasn't there a bomb threat in 2018? And I was like, yes, but they had to evacuate because of that. The threat was against them. But for all of these others, they opened up for us because of a commitment to community. And the last thing that I want to say that I experience as being quite different now, we have a COAD, we have resilience hubs and centers, and we work together in a new way. And I'm just going to steal your line because we've all said it, but collaboration in Lake County is our superpower. Thank you, and thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. I think the biggest, did someone else? Oh, yes.
The Valley Fire actually devastated our area. Is it on? Okay. Many individuals, businesses, organizations stepped up. These included our Twin Pines Casino and our Rancheria, all three Hardesters markets in the Middletown, Cobb, and Hidden Valley area stepped up big time. The Middletown Lions Club also stepped up huge. They were gathering donations, all kinds of clothes. There was just household goods. There were so many things that they did. They were open for, I would say, a couple of months or more. Our Middletown area town hall actually opened up too and held a lot of things at the senior center and at the near the library where we could go in and get our licenses and sign up for programs and get our birth certificates and all those things that burned in the fire. That was amazing. It really helped us all out a lot. I too lost my house and 3 outbuildings. The Twin Pines Corporation stepped up huge, as did the Moose Lodge in Clear Lake Oaks, they also open up for every disaster. And I think it's important that we recognize that this was not just within a particular area that people stepped up, it was actually statewide. I cannot say enough about the city of Calistoga opening up their fairgrounds and what they did for the people of our community, taking in people there, the businesses opening up for showers for the people that were evacuated at the fairgrounds, and they collected donations. I believe there was at least 2 wineries that each donated $1 million each to the funds to help the survivors. So, and actually, I don't even like the word survivor. I think it's kind of, we went through something together, and it made us stronger. I was shocked at the number of people that stepped up to help. I know I personally, and I've talked to other people too, out of state sent me like a $500 check to help us because we did lose everything. Well, not everything. I don't like to say that either. But we did lose our home and some barns and some livestock. So I think that it's really important that if we're going to thank one, we need to thank everybody. And that's going to be an impossibility, as there's no, there's not any data, or nobody tracked all those that gave, whether it be an individual that donated their time or a business that donated money. There was so many people that came out of the woodwork. It was phenomenal. And it, like I said, it wasn't just in California. It certainly wasn't just in Lake County. It was throughout the nation where people were moved and helped us out. And I need to say thank you to them as well.
Sure.
Good morning, everyone online and in the room. I want to thank the Board of Supervisors for presenting this proclamation on the most devastating day in my life that I ever experienced, and all the hard work that the county, everybody did. And you're right, it's the entire community. And I saw it come together. It was unbelievable. But that night, our community was on fire. It was unbelievable. We lost 43 homes in our organization, 38 employees lost their homes, 5 tribal members. It was absolutely devastating. We didn't even know if we had a town to come back to as we watched the thing burn. So what we went through was unbelievable. But yeah, everybody rose to the occasion that needed to happen. And it's not about thanks of one individual or one organization. It's the way we came together as a tribe. Now, that's the way I look at it. We had a community to take care of. We had people to make sure that they had somewhere to go, somewhere to eat, somewhere to be sheltered, and not worry about the devastation they just experienced. I myself too, packed my daughter's stuff. My grandfather's home burned. I said, it'll be here when we get back. I didn't believe it was going to burn, but it did. And that recovery process was unbelievable. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. And Middletown Rancheria will be here forever. We've been here forever, and we will always be helping the community. Our tribe understands the resiliency concept more than you know, because it's been happening to us forever. So we will continue to do what we need to do and to be prepared. I want to thank the Red Cross. I want to thank all the organizations. We have a standing agreement that our shelter can open at any time whenever it's needed. I want to thank Senator McGuire. He was the first one to show up after the fire at the Rancheria and say, yeah, we can make this happen. Congressman Thompson, you can just go through the list of folks that showed up to help. There were many tribal organizations that showed up to help to make us understand what an emergency operations center needs to be. And then you have Team Lake County. I also want to thank the Calliope Water District, because if everybody remembers, when everything burns, the water doesn't shut off. So we had to go around the next morning. Augie Santana, Frank Haas, Wyatt Jones, which was a young man, Kelly, I'm forgetting Kelly's name right now. They own the auto parts store in town. Anyway, we had to go around and turn off all the water spigots to the homes because they were just shooting out. and we had to rebuild the entire water system. Todd was there. He came down from Anderson Springs and Lower Lake. But before we could even get water back in the tanks for the fire department, we had to, rebuild the entire water system. So I know it pretty good now. It's kind of neat. But Hardester's allowed us to just go in and grab whatever we needed to fix the piping that had to be done. It was unbelievable, but I can't thank everybody enough. We've come a long ways. I also want to thank Hammers for Hope. Hammers for Hope rebuilt 30 homes after the Valley Fire. That many folks, it was great to see them stand on their porch, because healing didn't start until that key was given to somebody and they were back in their home. And even though they're living with that trauma, that was a good thing to see happen for many, many folks. So I want to say thank you very much. And as you said, Jessica, Middletown Rancheria doesn't do anything for acclimate. We just do it because it's the right thing to do, and you help your community when it's in need. So, and we weren't evacuation prepared, or I've done a lot of training since then, but it was just, let's just take care of ourselves, be safe, and make sure that we can communicate with each other. So I want to thank everybody, the county, the state, the feds, every community member that stepped up, and just say thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. I think that's the best that I've ever seen this community come together. Politics divides it, disasters unite it, and we'll just keep moving forward in that manner. So, and there's just one clarification, it's Twin Pine, no S. And Twin Pines is not an organization. It's a tribally owned business by the tribe. So thank you very much, and thank you for allowing me to speak today. Oh.
I just wanted to make sure that I expressed appreciation for the growth that has taken place in the Community Development Department since 2015. I saw that plume and thought, oh, no, that's not good, and had no idea. And so then the next thing, we're county responders, we're county volunteers. So a number of us were responding to the EOC, where we stayed for a very long time. And at that point, our building inspectors and building safety personnel were out helping to do assessments. And that learning curve has turned us into a pretty well-oiled machine, such that when Clear Lake had their last fire, we had team members out there, shortly, with an instant turnaround, there to support not just county responses, but also city responses. And our planning team learned a lot about what we need to have in place to help recovery, because after the fire's done and all our essential workers go back to their jobs, that's when community development really starts working for the public to rebuild. And so we have come quite a long way to be here for our county, and we wouldn't have been able to do so without a very dedicated workforce that has been trained and educated and is in better shape now than we ever have been. Thank you.
So I'll just end with I think the biggest lesson we learned is that no one can do this alone. No single agency, not the government, not local, not state, not federal, no one. And that's how we are continuing forward, is all hands on deck all the time, build the collaboration, and show up for each other every time. So thank you.
Sure. Go ahead. Yeah, 2015 was, if it was just the Valley Fire, but unfortunately it was quite a bad year overall for fires, and I feel like we were ground zero for what was to come, not just in Lake County, but for the rest of the state. The Rocky Fire didn't have even close to the same level of impact. There was no need for evacuation centers in the same way. It was just not burning through residences. This was completely new. The communication was lost, people stranded in traffic. We learned so much from that one experience, unfortunately, but we've come a long way. I remember we were all really upset with Red Cross because we didn't understand how Red Cross worked. What do you mean I can't donate food out of my kitchen to help these people? It was frustrating, but we just didn't know. We've never had that experience, and now we've come to understand how it works, and we've come to a better understanding of how to proceed. Somebody mentioned the Moose Lodge. Their hearts are in it. They had to learn some hard lessons. We were getting trucks from out of the state, as you were saying, Supervisor Owen, mounds of clothes. Eventually that got to the break hall. Eventually that got somewhere else. Lesson learned. What's actually needed? What do we really need to do? You missed a fire, by the way, Pastor Shannon. Middletown Rancheria helped out also for the Cache fire. But everybody was helping. And it's appreciated, everyone that was able to help out rather than living in fear, dealing with the trauma. The stories that I've heard, I didn't experience them personally. The videos I've seen, it was just a horrible, horrible day. One, unfortunately, that we will remember forever because of what happened and the people that were lost and people that were hurt. It's amazing what we've learned and what we've come out of from that experience. I want to name a couple of names. I know it's a little potentially awkward, but people of the past that are no longer here. I know that Carol Hutchinson made a huge impact during that time as we had some leadership changes that were happening in the county, and we needed somebody to step up to really help out. I know that I remember going to the EOC, and in fact, I don't really remember if it was the Rocky or the Valley fire because they were very close timing. But I remember Kevin Thompson being at the front of the EOC and trying to help out, and he was our interim behavioral health director at the time being. It's just the position you were in was not necessarily the position you expected to be in during the fire. You were asked to go above and beyond, and there's some people that definitely stood out, and those people should be remembered and appreciated for their hard work and their love for their community and the fact that they went out of their way to make sure that others were safe. Thank you for bringing this today.
Just want to thank everybody for all their continued work. Everything's been stated, but I think the biggest thing is the distance we've come and continue to work together as a county. So appreciate that, and thank you.
I'd like to just say that I know back in 2015 I was just becoming the chair of my tribe at Robinson, and so we were, of course, on the other side of the lake, so opening our area for anyone that would need to go over there, of course. I do remember, though, we always, and still to this day, the CAL FIRE and anyone in that capacity likes to stay at the facility there. So, you know, we did whatever we could as well, but of course, it was all the folks that you mentioned, I know, that put all that effort into it. I think Lake County came together to surround Middletown with their loving arms because it was so devastating. It was on national news. It was everywhere. So yeah, no, just thank you for bringing this. Thank you, everybody, for coming and being a part of this, and you know, just remembering that time, because it was really, yeah, it was really sad, you know, to see that, especially, you know, even though they were a rival to us at Upper Lake, we didn't want to see that happen to the town of Middletown, you know, when it comes to sports. But, you know, all that set aside, we always want to pull for each other, you know. So again, Moke, it's great to see you come forward here today. It's great to see you again. And thank you for always being there. I know you were there when our tribe had issues as well, and our community has issues, always there to open up the doors, just like all the other agencies like the Moose Lodge and whatnot. I know they do too. I just know that for all of these fires in any situation, the doors are right open and there's no question, you know. And so I just want to say that. Thank you, everyone. Is there anyone from the public that'd like to come up and speak on this?
Good morning. My name's Sean Smith. I'm retired Cal OES. I led the debris removal operation for Rocky, Jerusalem, and the Valley Fire. We were here for about 6 months. We didn't leave. Moak, thank you. You guys were great at supporting us. We had our removal operations center based in Middletown, and we operated out of there for about 6 months. But this was the first fire for us at Cal OES of this size. You know, you guys talked about it. It went on years later here in Lake County also, but we were here, you know, learning while we were doing it. And the support from Lake County, from both your elected officials, your appointed officials, and everybody here was phenomenal. And as a guy coming into this, going up on Cobb Mountain those days with Rob Brown and seeing the devastation, we had never seen that before. You know, that was a generation before us. So to come here and be here this day, and Leah, thank you for inviting me. It brings it all full circle for me. So thank you. And your community, to see you guys this resilient 10 years later is phenomenal. I've gone on to 33 fires since then. This one sticks with me. So thank you.
Anyone else from the public? All right, there's no other hands on Zoom. We will take a picture.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Can we take a quick break? Yeah, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. All right, welcome back from the break. We're going to go on to the same 6.10. B, consideration of a purchase of a bronze plaque to present to the Middletown Rancheria Pomo Indians in recognition of their steadfast support, collaboration, and community service during times of disaster. Supervisor Pyska.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this forward because we're starting to talk about the Valley Fire this week for the anniversary, but over the last 10 years, as we've mentioned so many times, the tribe has opened their doors. They've been a critical partner with Red Cross, with PG&E for the community resource centers, for so many things. And I just wanted to recognize them for this continued support of our community now, over the last 10 years, going into the future. I know there's a lot of people to thank each and every time we have a disaster, but I think we can start with this one gift of appreciation from our government, their government, to really recognize what a vital partner they are.
All right. Supervisor Owen?
Okay. As District 1 Supervisor, I am really concerned that only one entity is being recognized for helping during the 2015 Valley Fire. I have purchased a plaque. It's a commemorative plaque to honor and remember the entire Middletown community. This was a profound and life-altering event for everyone, and our plaque is intended to represent everyone in the Middletown area, including Twin Pine Casino and the Middletown Rancheria, Harbin Hot Springs, Anderson Springs. They both were devastated during that event, during that fire. And it's also for the whole entire area. I feel that singling out one entity can overlook the many contributions of others. I believe that the Middletown Rancheria is a vital part of our community, and I fully acknowledge the amazing partnership they have provided and how graciously they have opened their doors in times of need and many, many times. And we cannot thank them enough. They are truly appreciated, but they are also part of our Middletown community. I'd like to emphasize that they are an integral member of the Middletown community. Singling them out as making one of them separate feels almost insulting to separate them away from the Middletown community. I find it kind of offensive. I believe that our plaque that I am purchasing, that is going to the Middletown Square, is for them as well. And I believe that during the Valley Fire, we became all one tribe. And I feel it's important that if we recognize only one, that others will feel insignificant. Let me see. I am proud to be part of their community and them our community. They share our schools, they share our stores, our post office. We grew up together. We celebrate, we laugh, and we even cry together. They are truly part of the Middletown community. There are significant challenges and concerns regarding documenting those who have contributed, as no records were kept. Singling out individuals or for recognition could advertently hurt the feelings of many others who also played a vital role, but may go unrecognized. This raises the question of whether opening up this can of worms could lead to our board feeling obligated to purchase plaques or similar recognitions for others in the future. Such a precedent could create expectations that are difficult to manage, ultimately leading to financial and logistical challenges. Jessica, when I first was elected but hadn't taken office, we had lunch together, and you kind of were teaching me some of the ropes. And one of those comments that you made and that you stressed was that as a supervisor, we stay in our own lanes. I am the District 1 supervisor. You are the District 5 supervisor. And I feel that there's been drama brought forward with this. Originally, you were going to buy 4 plaques. I was asked to come on board with the celebration or commemoration, and I offered to split that. Later, you called me and said, you take 3, I'll take 1. And then you informed me you yourself were going to buy 1 for the tribe. Now you want the county to purchase this. And I expressed to you that I didn't feel comfortable with that. There are so many. The Hardisters Market has been supporting our community since the 40s. We have Moose Lodge that has always opened up for us, for everybody. As human beings, that's what we do. And I do not want to marginalize in any way, shape, or form what Twin Pine has done for us. They have been amazing, and I hope you guys understand that. This, I just feel, is a slippery slope. If we start recognizing people, we're going to have to start keeping track. And you have to also be prepared by singling people out that we are going to open up a can of worms. And you're going to be hurting other people's feelings for not getting that same recognition. So I cannot support this, as I had mentioned to you prior to. And I think that this is drama that was unnecessary.
Okay. Yes, we did have conversations offline getting ready for this event. And I expressed to you that it is really important for this government. The reason why this is not coming out of the District 5 discretionary funds like the plaque for the Cobb community is because this is a government-to-government gift, and it requires the full board to give this gift and to pay for this gift. It is not appropriate to come from a single supervisor. So that's why I brought it to the board, and I heard you, I listened to you. I disagree. This is not for just the Valley Fire. Like we've said, there are countless people that we need to thank and that we can thank and that we have thanked over the years. But this is different. This is a decade of showing up time and time again and into the future. And that's why I want this board and this county of Lake to recognize the tribe and all that they do for our whole county.
Supervisor Sabatier?
Yeah. I think there's some huge differences here. Middletown Rancheria is not a business in the sense of a business. It is not a nonprofit. It's a partner agency similar to the city of Clear Lake, similar to the city of Lakeport. It is a local government that provides services to their constituents. And when we have partnerships, I think we need to celebrate partnerships. And I would even say that partnership should be more than just the 10 years that we're talking about since 2015. I know that unfortunately there's history that did not have that partnership, but I know that to me this is a symbol of a future partnership. Whether we miss specific individuals, I think we're all thankful and share gratitude for everybody that we may have forgotten their names, may have missed their names, may whatever reason did not list them as individuals that stood up and helped out. But I don't think those individuals stood up to be recognized during a Valley Fire. I think that we all do things that maybe we don't even know we would do until we're in the middle of a fire and dealing with these types of situations. I think that we are a small community. We are 68,000 strong, and when we get to symbolize and mark a moment where our relationship has changed forever, our partnership has changed forever, and our future collaboration has changed forever, I think that's a positive thing. We're looking at $2,000, and whether it's coming from discretionary fund or not, that's still basically coming out of the general fund because it's still taxes that we've received from the community. So today, I'm in support of this plaque, and I'm ready to move forward. I think that symbolizing partnerships is key to continued relationship and positive outcomes coming out in our community. And if we get the chance to shake somebody's hand that we may have missed and said, hey, you know, thank you so much for what you did. We didn't say your name, it wasn't on the plaque, or we forgot to mention it, I think that can be done. But I think this is more than just what happened 10 years ago. I think this is about the changed atmosphere that we're hoping will continue to evolve in the sense that we are neighbors, we are collaborators, we are friends, and we are here to work together and make the best of what our communities can be. So, in support today.
Brian?
I'm in support of the motion.
Yes, I'm in support as well. Honestly, I feel like if this was another agency, there wouldn't be anyone else mentioned. We'd just be doing the proclamation and the bronze plaque without any question as to what's fair or who else did whatever. We would already be done with it. So I think by bringing this up is singling them out and casting a negative cloud on the situation rather than celebrating it. So for me, I also know that some constituents reached out to me about the Moose Lodge, and I will talk to them about that later, as the Moose Lodge does do a lot in my district. It's in my district, if we're talking about the Clear Lake Oaks Moose Lodge. And they are one of the beneficiaries to request for resiliency for some of my discretionary funds as well. So, I mean, if we're considering tax dollars, I mean, they probably receive more than a plaque. And I think I agree. I also agree with Supervisor Sabatier in the capacity that this is a government-to-government type of recognition. And so I think that's what's most important as well. So I'm in support of it as well. So is there any other comments?
I have one. If we're going to do government to government, what about the city of Calistoga.
We can bring that forward.
That was, they opened up, they did an amazing job for us.
Yeah, they did. I invited them I invited the supervisor to Friday's event, and I can introduce you.
All right, I will open it up to the public if there's any comments from the public.
Shannon Kimball Oth. Speaking as an individual, personally, not on behalf of the Red Cross, what I would like to say that I appreciate about this thank you specifically to Twin Pine is that there were many individuals who worked and helped. And I hear your comment, and I agree with part of it, which is to say we should find that list. We should make that list. It's not a slippery slope. It's an invitation to start. I would like for us to do that. United Christian Parish was open for 3 weeks, 6 days a week for 12 hours as a resilient center. We had one room that was a bank of computers. We had one room that was all camping equipment for those that didn't want to be at a shelter. We had the sanctuary became all clothing sorted by gender and size. We had one room where we did counseling where it was listed as we found out addresses that had been destroyed, where we would provide a safe place for people to be. We did an extraordinary work, but we were not, as an agency, changed forever. They didn't keep doing disaster response. They did it in that one remarkable moment. Twin Pine, on the other hand, was changed forever. They continued to show up every single time. And it has been an extraordinary journey, and it would have been very different if it wasn't for Twin Pine over the years. And so just as a private individual, not speaking for the Red Cross at all, I want our government to recognize their government at what they did for Middletown, for Lower Lake, for all of Lake County repeatedly, time and again. And so I personally, I appreciate it. I appreciate the work. I appreciate the gift. And I love your idea. Like, let's create that list. Let's tell the stories. Let's remember all of the people. This can be just a first step, and a first step is different than a slippery slope, but it is an invitation to do the right thing. So I appreciate those comments.
Hello, board. Nancy Rizika. I'm a resident here in Lakeport. I think it's kind of crazy that this is even up for discussion. I don't think that this is about singling out a specific group. It's about showing how much they have helped. I think it's selfish to put these other people ahead of them. Everyone did something in the community. I was in 5th grade. I started a coin drive. Am I going to get a plaque? Like, I'm not expecting that. I think the point of this plaque is to recognize Twin Pine for everything that they've done, not just for the Valley Fire, as the rest of the board said. And I truly think it's selfish to be thinking about other people and taking this moment away from them. I'm in full support of it as well. I am very thankful for everything they've done. And I would be really disappointed in my government if they didn't get recognized for what they've done. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Good afternoon, board, and everyone online and everyone in the room. I want to thank you for this honor. As we said earlier, Middletown Rancheria. I know we keep saying Twin Pine, but it's the Middletown Rancheria of Pomo Indians of California. It's just a business we own. Just wants to thank everybody. Thank all of our employees. You know, just as your guys' employees are disaster workers, so are ours. They've been trained through Red Cross, many different organizations, just to make sure we can do what we need to do to take care of the community. We don't do any of this for recognition. We do it because it needs to be done. But I appreciate each and every one of the board members that support this plaque. And we'll just continue doing what we're doing. A plaque is something that sits in the ground or in the wall or whatever. But just thank you for the conversation. And thank you for the words today in support of this. So greatly appreciate it. and the comments from the community here. So, and obviously we don't hold ourselves in higher regard than anybody. If we did that, then we lose our way. So we're just here to help the community, and we'll continue to do that, whether people support it or not. It's going to happen. We are our own government, and we will act accordingly as we feel to take care of the people. So thank you very much. Appreciate your time today, board.
Thank you. Any other comment? Any on Zoom? All right, we'll close public comment and bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the purchase of a bronze plaque to present to the Middletown Rancheria of Pomo Indians of California in recognition of their steadfast support, collaboration, and community service during times of disaster.
Second.
Mr.
Boyd?
Chair, if I may, only because in the Granicus system, there were 2 plaques. So if your board can make that clarification as to which plaque, is it the 18 by 18?
It's the 18 by 18 plaque.
It's part of the motion, that's all.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 410. Thank you for that. We'll close this item and move on to, what time do we have?
Chair, do you have 30 seconds?
Yes.
I thank you, Chair Simon, for being here. I'm always reminded, and I'm sorry it's been spinning in my head since we started talking, when you told Mayor Kramer that it's not Clear Lakes, it's Clear Lake, it really helps to always remember to say it right for Twin Pines. So I'm never going to forget that comment. That's lodged in my brain for the rest of my life. Good seeing you today.
All right, so we have, we want to continue on for this one, or we're close to the lunch break, but at the same time, I see them here, so how do we want to go forward? We'll do this item and then push back the other one, or?
With your permission, Chair, we'll take Doug's item up now,
Okay.
and I will share with members waiting to come back after 1:30 or 2 o'clock.
Okay, excellent. So we'll move on to our next item, which is our 611, sitting as the Lake County Air Quality Management District Board of Directors hearing for consideration of resolution repealing sections 631, 12.450, 12.640, Chapter 4, and Article 6 in their entirety, and adopting updates to sections 208.2, 226.5, 433.5, 1002, 1105, a new Chapter 4 and Article 6, Sections 660 through 668 of Lake County Air Quality Management District Rules and Regulations, Air Quality Management District. Go ahead, Doug. I've already diced it up, sorry.
I will apologize for the length of that. Yeah, we have to list everything and all the little bits and pieces in order, for these items. So I have a little thing to go through, and then that'll be it. We've had 3 workshops already, so as you know, and we'll go forward from there. So this hearing is for consideration and adoption of the proposed rule changes. The proposed changes to the Lake County Air Quality Management District rules and regulations result from increased costs of district operations, compliance with federal requirements, changes to CAL FIRE policies, fire agencies' withdrawal from the burn permit program participation. The staff report attached to the resolution presents the recommended updates, changes, and implementation schedule as discussed and considered during the public workshops and hearings on June 10th, July 15th, and July 22nd, 2025. Several burn rules are proposed to be updated at this time. These are being proposed for several reasons. As mentioned above, the proposed updates to the burn rules provides a hard date for lifting the annual burn ban and an offset for that, which includes declaring specific holidays as no burn days. The proposed rule changes include a process to allow the district to enter into agreement with the fire agencies to issue permits, and eliminates the designation of specific fire agencies as authorized issuers of permits, because name changes, fire agencies unify, and other changes occur. That means we have to do rule changes in order for them to be up to date and current. So we eliminate that by allowing the entering into agreements on an annual basis. So let's see. And the last clarification relates to, let's see. Oh, and then, sorry, I lost my place there. So, and then we will no longer require rule changes to allow participation in the burn program. The last clarification relates to burn hours. Currently, the agricultural burn hours are for extended burn days are specified in one section of our rules, but they are not specified in the agricultural burn rules themselves. So this is a correction to add those extended burn hours specifically into the agricultural burn rules section of our rule book, so they are in the proper place. And it also clarifies what an extended burn day is so that it's clear and anyone can look it up and understand what it means for an extended burn day. The air pollution, has significant cost to the community, and the short-term regulations are expensive. In the longer-term, medical and health benefits within the community are more than tenfold the cost of regulations. More details of this can be found in studies and cost benefits of the Clean Air Act from 1990 to 2020. There are a number of reports out about this. What we have currently in Lake County is that local industries emitting air pollution have received significant economic advantage for the past 30 years due to the undercharging of actual costs. The district has prevented fee increases for all programs for many years, primarily as a result of short staffing and ensuring additional statewide mandates are avoided in attainment areas. But times have changed, and the legislature and state agencies no longer recognize the unique nature of attainment areas, so many of the regulations and reporting requirements relating to climate change, regional air pollutions are not just localized impacts, and as a result, the district is unable to keep up and cannot meet our current obligations. As such, the district has proposed a major fee rule update. This update is designed to make the district fee schedule more transparent and easy to understand. The existing fee schedule was created in the 1970s and has not changed significantly since. The second reason is for the fee rule update is to move the district from a potential to emit model of fees to a cost recovery model for fees. With increasing program requirements, reporting for specific industries and emission types, inventory tracking, monitoring, numerous other state and federal mandates, the potential to emit model does not reasonably allow for cost recovery related to staff hours required for these state and federal mandates. So most of the mandates are based on the type of facility, not the potential to emit for a facility. So the cost recovery model is, for fee calculation, is essential to cover all those costs. The district is proposing to repeal 2 Title V rule sections. These rules relate to emergency events. They operate similar to a breakdown rule, but the federal regulation that they are based on has been repealed, and EPA has sent a letter regarding these to the district, requiring us to repeal the sections as they are no longer valid. There are no sources in Lake County subject to the Title V permitting at this time, so there are no sources impacted by these changes. Now, approving all these changes does not change the environment or permit any activity. Each project and permit is assessed on its merits when the permit is applied for, and as when they are operating. We do regular inspections. So, the California Air Resources Board has been legally noticed pursuant to Health and Safety Code 40725 and has not provided comment. Additionally, a legal notice was published in the Lake County Record B 30 days in advance of this hearing. Documents were posted on the district's website, and no public comment has been received by the district at this time. As such, the district recommends that the board adopt the resolution repealing sections 631, 12.450, 12.640, and Chapter 4, Article 6 in its entirety, and adopt updates to Sections 208.2, 226.5, 433.5, 1002, and 1105, and adopt a new Chapter 4, Article 6, Sections 660 to 668 of the Lake County Air Quality Management District Rules and Regulations. So with that, I guess that's the presentation, so.
All right. Do you have anything to add? No, he covered it all. All right, Supervisor Sabatier, go ahead.
So appreciate that you and I were able to have a conversation last week before this made it on the agenda. This one's it's a difficult one. It's a huge increase. Granted, I think we're looking at a very similar, not similar, but in the same vein as what we saw in increases for the fire district when they hadn't changed theirs since the 90s as well. But this is a huge increase. So I appreciate that we've had a discussion. You're breaking it down by 7 years. I did catch a caveat that I have to question. This says for renewal fees, not for new. And so if there's a new business that comes in for something that, you know, like let's say a new gas station, right? It's not like it's different than another gas station. Eventually they'll get the same permit that the other gas stations have, and eventually they'll have the renewal as well. From what I'm reading, anything new will pay the 100%, and anything that's renewal will pay the 25% on the first year, 25% addition on the second year, and then 10% throughout the 7 years after that. Am I reading that correctly?
That is correct. That was one of the major discussion points we had in the first couple workshops. The problem was, how do you prorate something that doesn't exist yet? And Health and Safety Code provides that existing sources can be prorated, or not prorated, but can be stepped into a fee increase, but new sources actually pay the full cost of the fees. So that's specified in Health and Safety Code, and so there's not an easy way to deal with that.
I appreciate the clarification. I know that just, I guess similarly to the previous discussion, it's a hard future development versus continual what we already have. And I can't speak for the rest of the board, but my goal and aspiration is for us to develop our community and find ways to make developments feasible and accessible. So we need to do something today. Obviously, there's a timeline as well for you to be able to submit these things, or else you kind of miss a window. Yeah, I'd love to hear from my other colleagues. I guess I'm still struggling with that one in treating new versus continuous in a different way. And I guess looking for a way to being able to match that. You brought out the Bible.
Well, I mentioned this to you because this kind of gives perspective as to why things cost what they do and why a new source is much more complicated than an existing source. These two pieces of paper are existing, for this are 1996 and probably through the mid 2000s, 2010, we had a lot of gas stations. These were the requirements. A new gas station today, this is the requirement. So this is just for one system at one gas station. There are 10 different variations of this, and we have to understand and deal with this to write a permit and to be able to do enforcement inspections. We have to know all of this. So compared to this. So that's why, I know it's a significant increase. Gas stations in Lake County haven't changed a whole lot until the last probably 15 years is when everyone started running into tank replacements and requirements and things. And so, the first generation of these, it started there, and then it just keeps building. And so the costs have skyrocketed, and the amount of time and effort that goes into a permit, it's gone through the roof, and there's nothing we can do about it. So, and then the ongoing compliance of keeping these things in compliance, doing inspections and understanding what you're looking at and what you have to inspect. So, I hope that gives at least a perspective as to why, and helps.
And it's the same, basically the same comments you provided when we had our phone conversation.
Yeah.
I guess to feel more comfortable and very uncomfortable, but to feel at least more comfortable. I know it breaks down the cycles of every year and the increases. What I don't see in there is what we had talked about doing an annual review to kind of get an idea of the impact on any new development or ongoing businesses. So I'm wondering if maybe we can add a 10 to the resolution that says annual review of new fee schedule impact on the local economy or something like that, just to put it in writing that we are going to be reviewing this.
I mean, it's up to the board. The resolution we wrote is really for the board adoption to go to the state and EPA, and then board direction to us is separate. So whether you want it as in the resolution or just as a board adopted policy, we can bring a policy back too. So whatever you'd like, and whatever Lloyd would like to review and sign off on.
And I put it out there. I think I'd love to hear from the rest of my colleagues just to see what their thoughts are. I like things in writing just because it makes it easier to hold ourselves accountable. But I'd love to hear from my colleagues.
Go ahead, Supervisor Owen.
I too would like to, I believe, I knew that that was one of the reasons I went ahead and supported it in the past, because the fees have jumped so significantly. And I know that the red tape has jumped significantly as well, which is causing that increase in cost. But I think we were supposed to reevaluate at each year, and I would like to see it in writing as well, so it doesn't slip between the cracks.
The only thing my understanding was that we were going to do that during our draft budget every year. So that would be part of our draft budget presentation. So
I'm still good on that.
The impact fees. So yeah.
Yeah.
However you want us to do that, whether it's part of a resolution or something else is fine.
It seems like the consensus is there. Supervisor?
I'm fine with having that direction. I don't want to hold up the resolution, but, so I don't know,
Lloyd, would this hold it up?
Well, your board has two main options under that proposal. You could either add language to the resolution and offer the resolution as amended, and so the specific language would have to be stated on the record as to what would be added as essentially as an item 10 to the resolution. So that's one option. The other option is as APCO Gerhardt mentioned, direction to staff to come back to the board, and that can be provided outside of the resolution for essentially by consensus giving direction to Director Gerhardt to come back to your board under certain terms and provisions and conditions on what to present.
it sounds like the reso could go forward if we make an amendment, or.
Yeah.
I would like to have it in writing.
I'm
I think
okay
it
with
tells the
that.
public and it tells us, it just, again, it's something to have in writing that anybody can point to and say, you didn't do this or you did do this, rather than we can give direction. And I've seen us give direction where sometimes things don't always come back. So putting it in writing, in my opinion, is the best way to go.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
The only option I was going to give you, we can put it in the resolution, or if you would like us to bring a policy back for board adoption with direction there, so it's a written policy to come back annually to review fees, and so whatever your preference.
Go ahead, Lloyd.
Yes, as Director Gerhardt mentioned, that's totally up to your board. That is an option. On the policy side of things, direction can be by consensus given to staff to come back to the board with a written policy for your board's approval. That is also an option under this direction to staff option.
So just do an amendment?
Well, that would be the first option. If there's going to be language plugged in or added to the resolution document itself, that would be an option as well for your board to do, and then the resolution would be offered as amended.
Does that sound like it works for everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to open it up to the public. Is there anyone from the public that has a comment about this item on the agenda? All right, I will bring it back to the board for action. Lloyd, did you have something else? I see you by the... Microphone,
Well,
if
if
you're
your
ready.
board is leaning towards amending the resolution language,
Right.
your board may need to get some clarification as to that language. I have the starting language, but essentially the language itself, the added language would direct staff so that item 10 may be added to state the following: air pollution control officer is directed to provide an update to the district board of directors on, and that would be up to your board as to what those updates would be.
Go ahead, Supervisor Sabatier.
And I have here, because I started writing it as well, to continue the Board of Directors annually during the budget process, the impacts the new fee schedule has had on the local economy.
All right.
And that's broad enough to say number of businesses, a loss of businesses, just to get an idea. I mean, it could be an indirect impact, it could be a direct impact. We'll have to figure that out, but I want to know how this is working and how it's not working, because it's a large number, and I just feel we need to at least pay attention to what it's doing in case we have to hit the brakes because it's doing something completely, an adverse impact that we did not anticipate.
How are you going to quantify that?
Right, that was my question.
Well, there's no it's just a report of how many new businesses did you do and how many less renewals did you do. I think that tells us if there's a loss of business or if there's less new businesses or more new businesses. And year to year, we can see the differences because you should have that information of how many new sources versus how many renewal sources, right?
Okay.
Right, but we can't assume that losing businesses is because of the fees.
Again, that, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that assumption can't be implied.
And I don't believe it's implied that the review will automatically dictate that it's because of, but I would like to at least have a review.
That's fine, I just want to make sure that.
I appreciate the clarification, because there are economic impact studies.
Of course, tariffs
Bay
and other
Area
things.
and South Coast and others do that are, thousands of pages long, and they do, they have economists and all sorts of people. So the clarification, that is more than doable, and happy to provide that, so.
All right. Anything else, Lloyd?
Did that language work?
That should work. So just to confirm, under adding an item number 10 to the resolution, where the air pollution control officer is directed to provide an annual update to the district board of directors during budget hearings. The update would be on impacts of the fees on the local economy. And that would be offer as amended.
I don't know if we can have that language because we're not going to know if it's really how it's affecting the economy. If you want to just have language on new businesses.
So new sources or renewed sources?
Yeah, new sources and renewed sources.
Yeah. Okay. Permits issued, permits renewed.
Yeah.
Permits dropped.
I think that's great data for us to have anyway.
The financials of how it affects the financials.
And we'll get that part during the budget period anyways. But the number of licenses and permits, as Supervisor Pyska was stating, it is something we need to know and should know for other reasons than just this.
All right.
So I'm good with that language.
All right.
It would be offer as amended.
I offer the resolution as amended.
Resolution has been offered as amended.
All right. Director Owen?
Aye.
Director Sabatier?
Aye.
Director Rasmussen?
Aye.
Director Pyska?
Yes.
And Director Crandall?
Yes. All right, that passes 5-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we can go to lunch now. What's that? Yeah, we will return at 1:10. All right, welcome back from our lunch break. We're going to move on to our next timed item, 6.12, consideration of presentation on the Public Defender's policy on the scheduling and meeting sex offender clients. Public Defender Director Ray Buenaventura. Yes, please. Come and sit up top.
All right.
Good afternoon, members of the board. First, by way of introduction, I wanted to introduce you to Sarah Lemon. Miss Lemon has been in my office basically from the very beginning. She is one of my senior legal administrative staff. She's been in my office since August of 2024. She was my second hire. And she's proven to be one of the most capable and reliable employee staff members that I have. She's what I believe is extremely hardworking, and she takes initiative, one of which was this 290 policy or this sex registration office visit policy you have before you. From the very beginning, when we had heard about some of the concerns the board and the community really had raised, Ms. Lemon worked on it, and she was really responsible for a lot of the research and the discussions that led us to put a policy together. So with that, Your Honor, I say Your Honor, but I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Lemon, if that's okay.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for this time. As Ray mentioned, I have been taking initiative on this project for our screening for our sex offenders or anybody who has been charged with pending sex offenses. And for the last 9 months, it's beginning that we have entered our office over at the Lakeport Plaza. I have been looking online for how ways that we can help screen our clients and make sure that the community is safe, and including our clients. And one of those is to create a huge screening broad process, which is one of the ones is that we will obtain the complaint or the report, and when we are adding them to our case management system, we can see what cases have been charges or what charges have been pointed to our clients. When admin staff is who we are the ones that put in the charges for our case management system, that if we find those, we'll flag them in our case management. Again, another way that we have a broad spectrum of how we screen our clients is that when they come to our office or to our door, we'll ask them if they have been charged, or are they already a registrant, or if they have a history of a past, even or outside counties or outside states. We are also a appointment only, so when we do get clients that come to our doors, we do point them out to our board outside where they can put in a question in, and then they have to call our office. It's also on our website that is based that we don't accept no walk-ins. So that is another way that we screen our clients when it comes to the sex registrants. Also, when we screen them, we, as I mentioned before, we flag them. So when we flag these clients, it's for the whole entire office to understand that when they open up the case, they see automatically that they're flagged as a sex offender, or they have a pending case. We also look on a website that I also took in charge of for the last 9 months. I went back to all of our past clients or cases of 2000, and I have found that this website has been the most accurate when it comes to finding any sex offenders who are not within our county that is not on the local record. And on top of it, we also have our attorneys that understand that when we are making an in-house appointment for virtual or in-person, that they are constantly screening. They're constantly looking at and make sure the flag is up. If not, they're looking at the case, and they also have to ask admin if they can make an appointment in office. And we are the ones who also make sure that they are being screened, and there's a secondary screening where they're automatically looking up the website on that client and also contacting the client to see if they are a sex registrant. And we do have an intake that we have of our clients that normally if they're in custody or out of custody for their first arraignment or for their in custodies, that the attorney or whoever's assigned to do the in custodies, they are also screening those clients. So we also have an in-person attorney who's also screening them and asking them those questions and be able to identify them early. But so far, that is all that I have for you, unless you have any more questions about how we are screening them.
Supervisor Sabatier?
Yeah, thank you for bringing this to us and providing the policy itself as well. I guess one of the things that I just wanted to at least say and maybe get some clarifications on, in the purpose, I really like the purpose, and it talks about, at least the way I'm reading it, and now that I'm reading it again, maybe I'm not reading it correctly, but what about suspected or like current case? Would that be under charged with, like they're being charged with, but they haven't been convicted of? I see that in the purpose, and I read it as if you've already been convicted and some are being charged but not yet convicted, but I don't see that within the mandatory screening or identification and documentation to ensure that those that are being suspected of sexual offense are also being treated the same, because I mean, I get it that you're innocent until proven guilty, but the fact is there's the possibility of it, and it'd be safest to not invite them to an office right next door to a playground. I feel like you have it in your purpose, but I don't see it within your check procedure.
Yes, so when we already have that implemented, because we want to make sure that it's abroad, because we are only appointment only. So that is for every client. It doesn't matter if you're a sex offender or not, or you have any sex offense or sex assault cases or charges pending onto you. But we do have a system where it says that who are registered sex offenders or charged with sex offenses or has a history of sex offenses. That is the first of the purpose of the clause. So we do have a flag that is a pending 290 or a pending sex assault charge, that they do fall under that line. And that is a flag that we have reports on.
Okay. And just overall, I think that nothing is perfect. Like, for example, and I apologize for bringing up what could be really negative for a lot of people, but like I'm thinking of the unfortunate homicide that occurred in Library Park, Vicente. This would not preclude the individual who is being charged with murder from going to your department at 55 First Street, yet the homicide occurred literally across the street. So I think that there's some unfortunate weirdness that will occur from time to time, and you can't capture everything. And so I am looking forward to the next item, to discussing the current office that you're at. But I appreciate that you did what we asked you to do, which was specifically about sex offenders. And I think that this covers it, and I appreciate the conversation.
Thank you. Any other comments? Well, go ahead.
May I share the statistic that we have right now that are active clients that are sex offenders? So right now we have 21 clients that are active cases, and out of the 21, 15 of them are incarcerated, and then the rest of them are outside and they're out in the world. But we have all the records that they're being taken care of virtually by text, email, and calls with their attorneys. So I just want to put that out there.
So no visits?
None.
Okay. All right. I'm going to open it up for the public. Is there anyone in the public that would like to comment on this? All right. Very well. We'll bring it back to the board and go from there. This is an action. This is presentation.
Yeah, presentation only.
Okay. So with that, we will move on to 6.13. Consideration of First Amendment to commercial lease agreement between the County of Lake and Lakeport Plaza LLC for office space at 55 First Street, Lakeport. Mr. Buenaventura.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I thought it would be helpful if I just gave a brief history, and I'm going to try to be brief. So when we started in a little small conference room on the third floor in this building. We then expanded to another conference room on the first floor of this building. So we had two different levels of office space. We had 6 people on the third floor, 8 people on the first floor. That didn't work. The up and down, the going between floors, the loss of communication, the loss of what I think was essential camaraderie, the logistics and operations just didn't work. So as much as we appreciated the space, I had to go out and look for what I thought would be the best space for us and what we needed. I looked at 5 different sites. They included, there was one site that I really wanted, which was in Hamburger Hill, that was brought out by Tribal Health. I was right in the middle of negotiating a lease with them, but it just got taken out from under me. There was a site I think it was a Cricket cell phone place that I looked at, and it was too small. It was in a little shopping mall. There's a site next to a grocery outlet that was also too small. And then I looked at the Record B, which I thought was promising, but all the renovations, the modifications, the handicap accommodations weren't going to be met, so we couldn't go there. I looked at the old West America Bank building, and same situation. It just didn't work out. So I asked for help. I asked for realtors. I scoured the areas, and I tried to look for the best possible place. So we finally settled on the building we have. Now, the building we have, when I first saw it, what I wanted was the entire second floor, but it wasn't available because part of that second floor was being leased by another tenant. And so the proposition was that we would eventually, hopefully, take over that separate space when they leave. So that was the vision, that was the goal, to try to get us in the same place on the same floor. But they weren't going to leave until last month in August, and they left. And so we were accommodated by having the third floor area available to us until they left. So now we come to this point where we are trying to secure that spot. And I believe that this is a good setup for us logistically, operationally. Having all my staff, my employees at the same location, I think is important. It's important to conduct business, to develop that camaraderie, and it's essential to the work we do as the public defender, similar to what the DA's office does, which is they have their entire unit on the same floor. Now, what I see as the cost of having that additional space and eliminating the third floor space, it comes out to virtually the same amount. It's about $198 more than our status quo. So we're talking about a $198 increase in our rent. And I think it's worth it for the many reasons I've already said. Now, I want to emphasize that we are mindful of the budget and the constraints that you have at spending the taxpayers' money. We are doing everything we can to be fiscally responsible. I believe that the budget does call for what we are asking for today. We have made sacrifices from stocking our offices with used, donated, paid for by me or some of my employees, furniture. We have paid for our own necessities, like even things like just paper towels, vacuum cleaners. We take out our own trash. I myself have paid thousands of dollars in team building efforts of my own pocket to help build the team that I have. We have applied for grants. We have grants. I think I mentioned before, most public defender offices have spent money on immigration consult services. I got that for free with a grant. Most public defenders offices have in-house or contracted, paid for services like that. Again, we got it for free because of a grant. I'm in the middle of applying for another grant. The state public defender was recently awarded by the state millions of dollars to disperse among the public defender's offices throughout the county. I'm applying for that grant, and I'm hopeful that we're going to get some of that money. We have grants right now that I'm accounting for in terms of offsetting some of the work we do, including resentencing cases. This is grants that I've applied for before, and we've gotten the money. And so right now, in fact, I'm in the middle of accounting for that, so we capture that money as a way to increase our budget, at least utilize the money in a way that it was meant to be. We've utilized volunteer services to staff our office. I had a former deputy probation officer. I had a Stanford student, and I had a student from McGeorge Law School. So we realize the constraints we have, and we're doing our part to make sure that we don't go over and that we are doing our part to fund as much as we can, recognizing the limitations that we have. So it comes down to, I think, also the 3 months that we're asking for and the renovations that are needed. The renovations are needed. Let me backtrack and tell you how this happened. So when the space opened up and it was an opportunity for us to get, I had contacted Lars and I asked him to review the site and see if these minimum modifications could be done to accommodate my office. And what I'm talking about modifications, I'm talking about opening up a door or adding a door or closing a specific location so we can have that integration within the office. I'm not talking about anything extravagant. I'm talking about connecting the different spaces on that second floor so we can have a cohesive team environment where we can collaborate with each other and have a better office system. So the most recent figure I can give you from Lars is that the renovations that I'm asking for amounts to about $10,000. Now, that's for everything I asked for. Honestly, I could probably live without some of that. I can reduce it if the court finds it necessary. But I think that there are essential things that need to be done, such as connecting the wall, perhaps punching a hole in some of the walls so that we can be connected. Again, I don't think I'm asking for anything extraordinary. I'm just asking for some ability to connect my office, my investigators, my admin staff, and my lawyers together so we can have a better environment and operate as a public defender's office. And so that is my ask. I hope you continue to support our office and recognize that we are very mindful of taxpayers' money, and we certainly don't want to drain the county's resources, but we do have to be operational. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any questions from the board? Supervisor Sabatier?
Mostly just a comment, and I appreciate that. And I do remember the origins of your office.
I think you were there.
Where I had to suck in my belly there's other reasons why I had to do that, but because there's no room. And so I'm glad that you were able to move, but it was difficult for me to swallow the pill of the cost already, but you had to go somewhere where you were was not conducive to a good department to be constructive, productive is the word I'm looking for. I apologize. To be productive, and so I said yes, but with a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth because the cost was way too much, and that's the reason everybody vacated that and has been vacating that place of business is because the costs have just been so high. And while it is slight change in the long run. For 3 months, it's a bigger change as you kind of transition from what you have currently to what it would be. I'm anticipating that if we stay there, let's say for at least another 2 years, 3 years, where in December 2028, you have the ability to readjust the flat rate, that flat rate's gonna skyrocket. That's just my personal opinion. That's where I anticipate it will go, especially seeing how the rents have gone up in that building since. With the new courthouse being built and eventually finalized, that is a much larger distance from your office to the new courthouse versus where it is now to this courthouse. And I would love to look at options sooner than later. And so at this moment in time, and I know you spoke very eloquently about the budget and what you've done to help out with the budget, but I'm concerned. We came from a very different number that when we started prior to having our own in-house public defender's office. We weren't getting the services we wanted from there, but the numbers are very different and of concern to me because we're still planning to grow. And so those numbers will continue to grow as far as the budget that we're approving. And so I can't help but be concerned. And I am one of the reasons that I fought to make sure that there was a termination clause is because I hope that we can find something that is suitable to your needs, but also a little bit more palatable on the wallet when it comes to paying for the lease and the rent for it. So at this moment in time, I don't have an appetite to provide more for that, and I'd rather continue and hope that we can get you into a better place.
All right. Go ahead, the Vice Chair.
Well, I had some concerns about I know 12 or 13,000 in the total budget is not a big number, but it's still taxpayer money that we got to spend for 3 months. Are we sure it's going to take 3 months to move from where we're at now and get completely into the second floor? Or could that be reduced? I know, I appreciate you calling me back yesterday, and you mentioned that the renovations needed to be done, but we don't really know at this point, like how long that's going to take or what those are potentially. I guess you said 10 grand, but I guess what I'm asking is, are we confident that we need 3 months of both spaces to get completely transitioned? So that'd be one question. And I guess it's probably not, really in the purview of this item, but what's also in my mind is, being involved in the Space Committee, I know that we're going to have movement around the county with different buildings in the next couple of years. And that's definitely going to be a conversation we're going to have about trying to get our own departments in property that we own, at least from where I come from, because it's more cost effective for us. So I guess my other question would be, realistically, can we put a number of years on how long it's going to be that we're going to need to be in this building? So I guess those would be my 2 questions right now.
Well, I mean, I wish I could, obviously, I'm not a part of the discussion of what potential sites you could place this in, but, I'm sensitive to what you have to do and what you have to do to be fiscally responsible and find me another place. If you have another county building, such as, for example, I've heard maybe probation, the probation building is a possibility. I looked at that building when I was looking around, and I liked it, but I wasn't able to really go into it because we weren't sure if that was a possibility. And I don't know what the general plan is in terms of when all this is going to happen, but the short answer, I don't know when something will be available. I do know that what's working works, and I wish I had a magic ball, but I can't really predict.
Lars, did you want to add?
Yeah, if your board would like, I can add some, I don't know if it's clarity per se, but attempt to fill in some gaps. Ray and I communicated this morning about a couple of things. First off, the Space Committee's hesitancy to move ahead with a renovation. At that point, the discussion of the renovation was, on our end, on Public Services side, a leased facility where we would be contracting the work out as opposed to using county forces. And all we knew was a renovation of a floor on a building that I'm familiar with, but nevertheless, a figure of $40,000-$50,000 was assumed. After we had a chance to look at it, it's likely to be less. the $10,000 figure was a very rough figure. We don't have the estimate back from a contractor that we're scoping it out with. But I just wanted to emphasize that in as much as the Space Committee did have an opportunity to review this, it was based on probably a larger figure, and also an assumption that the current probation building would be the natural next home for the public defender's office, and all of that. The puzzle pieces are the planning for all of that is underway, but by no means do we have that step by step mapped out. We have not done a facility analysis of what the needs of any one department is, much less the public defender, much less everybody else. So there's a lot of unknowns at this point, but I wanted to just shed some light on what the Space Committee commented, which was a hesitancy based on a larger cost, and under an expectation that within the next year or two that the public defender may move into probation. At this point, we don't know what that really will be. Will it be a year? Will it be 4 years? Right? I'm hesitant to put any figures to that, but it's certainly a lesser project. The renovation, it's not a whole-scale renovation. It was moving a few doors or adding a door and walling some things in. So I think it was relatively minimal. I will say in comparison to what was assumed at the time of discussion at the Space Committee, and so scope and cost is quite a bit less. So hopefully that helps or maybe complicates things, but I added that for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Ellen, and then
What are the number of people that you have in the public defender's office?
Oh, that's a good question. So we have 13 lawyers. We are going to have 4 admin staff. We have 5 investigators, and we're going to have an accountant. Yeah.
So that was how many? 13?
23 is what I counted.
Yeah.
based on what you
23?
said.
13 lawyers? Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Supervisor Pyska?
Didn't we do a pretty expensive renovation to the second floor? It was 0? Okay. I thought it must have been something else I was thinking of. Yeah, we did talk about this at the Space Committee, and we do have things coming up with the armory opening up. Then, that opens up where the sheriff is and where probation is. And, it's not, we don't have a concrete idea of the timeline, but it's not that far away.
Mm-mm.
So I would just like you to, are you functioning right now in this spot?
Yes, we're functioning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we all agree this is not an ideal location because of the last item we just talked about. And so we want to get you to a different spot that is more ideal. And I would just prefer that we just hold tight where we are and wait until we can get you into a county property, which should be soon. And that's really what the Space Committee talked about a few weeks ago. We did, we were under the impression there was going to be a more significant renovation, but I don't really see the need to move if we know that this is not going to be your long-term place.
Supervisor Sabatier?
I was just going to ask, and maybe Supervisor Pyska, since you're part of the Space Committee, instead of Director Ewing coming back up, what is the anticipated moving in date for the armory?
You should ask Lars.
Because it's not that far off.
It's not that far off.
Yeah, no, it is not. Putting me on the spot, I believe we're looking at summer of 2026, if memory serves.
That sounds about what I had in mind. Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can I just make a quick comment? So I think that's a good timeline. But then the other thing it could be 6 months or a year to configure the next space. But to me, that's 2 years down the road if we look at combine both of those, which I don't think is a long time. And where I'm coming from, I think that's 2 years is something we can kind of anticipate, and I just have concerns about keep putting more money into this situation that we have, when we're gonna need that money to also help reconfigure our own property before we move in potentially. There could be changes that need to be made at the probation, just if that becomes a confirmed location where we're gonna go, we are gonna need to look and see, is it configured for you? It was for probation, but there still might be changes in money we have to spend.
Lars, did you want to?
Yeah, well, Vice Chair essentially took the words out of my mouth. I just wanted to ensure that I wasn't misrepresenting by saying summer of 2026. That's when the armory is anticipated to be completed. But there's a lot of subsequent steps that would have to occur for the sheriff's office to move in and move out, and then the next step after of probation vacating and then prepping it for the next tenant, so to speak. So I appreciate you adding that in.
Yeah, Supervisors, about you.
So I'm not against it, but I don't believe, have we made an official decision that probation is taking over the sheriff's department? Yeah.
No.
Can we have that conversation? Because, I mean, I feel like the public defender's office is kind of saying you're talking about something, but at the same time, nothing is really set in stone as to, I mean, for all we know, public health might move in there. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, until we make it more concrete, that might make public defender's office feel a little bit more comfortable as to what we're planning to do. Because right now we're talking about things that aren't really set in stone, that may have been talked about in the Space Committee, but it hasn't really been brought back to the Board of Supervisors.
Well, we are meeting monthly right now to develop these campus plans. So that's exactly what we're working on. And I know you're not on the Space Committee, so this might be new information. But, you know, that's really what the plan is. We know that there's a lot of changes coming up. We know the fourth floor is changing. We know the armory, like, there's a lot going on. So that's exactly what we're trying to plan right now.
Okay.
Lars?
And I sorry for bouncing back up and
No,
forth,
please.
but I think if it pleases the board, we'd be I would be happy to present to the Space Committee and have the Space Committee discuss the various moves that are in the works and come back with a summary presentation to the board for what the concept plan is.
I think that's a good idea.
And so I didn't get to say this earlier, but I actually went and visited the office about a month ago, I think it was, and I seen the layout, and I understood just by being there and seeing how, you know, there's like a way to walk in and around and things like that. I didn't see an issue with the wall or the door or anything like that. I get why they want to have these opportunities to you know, have a little more free-flowing office to where they can actually manage. I think coming from the most uncomfortable situation that they had when they first started, and then I wouldn't say it's uncomfortable now per se, but to be able to work efficiently, you know, I didn't really necessarily see an issue with it. But again, that's not considering 1 year or 2 years, but. I mean, as projects go along, I've seen, like, I mean, there's been a couple where they've said they were going to be 26, and then it ends up 29 and 30, and, you know, so I don't know, and no knock on you, Lars, at all, or anything like that. It has to do with other things that just happen. But, so for me, you know, you guys we all seem like we have, you're going to go through the process of the committee, Space Committee, and go from there. But I just felt I would give my input, that's all. Did we open it up for public input?
I don't believe so.
I didn't. All right, anybody from the public? No one on Zoom? All right, I'll bring it back to the board and see where we're going from here.
I think there's consensus from the board to look at the future of relocations versus expansion of more remodeling and getting a little bit more embedded and comfortably into a building that I don't think we want to necessarily stay in.
Yeah.
All right. That looks like that's where we're at. All right. Well, thank you for the presentation and appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Right. All right. Go back to our consent agenda items.
Do you mind, Chair, picking up 5.6?
Yeah, that's where I was going anyhow, because Going back to consent agenda. Approve 5.6, approve annual agreement between the County of Lake and Visit Lake County, California for provision of administrative services to Lake County Tourism Improvement District in the amount of $112,500 for July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, and authorize the chair to sign. And this is pulled by the administration office.
Ben Rickelman, please, and Brian Fisher.
Oh, Supervisor Sabatier, you pulled it. Do you want to?
Or do we want to introduce?
sorry, I just wanted them to come up. I apologize, Chair. They weren't moving.
So first and foremost, I do appreciate the work that the Tourism Improvement District has been doing for Lake County. I know that we got our annual presentation not too long ago, and there's a but that comes in there. I feel at times that we're very hyper-focused on specific areas of Lake County and not the entirety of Lake County. And since this is a contract with the TID to do the marketing with funding that we're providing on top of the TID funding that goes through as a pass-through through the county, I want to suggest an additional contractor responsibility, and this would be item 1.9. Appreciate County Counsel Gwen Tavano for helping me out with some of the language. It's changed slightly from what I've sent you. This would be 1.9. Contractor shall make a reasonable effort to use diverse populations in diverse locations in Lake County in providing materials for projects, programs, and activities under this agreement. Just to put it on writing that we are pushing them to be inviting to all, because we're doing a lot of promotion and advertisement in the Bay Area. The Bay Area happens to be one of the most diverse locations in the state of California. We want to make sure everybody there feels invited to Lake County. So imagery is important, in my opinion, and also making sure that we're not advertising only specific areas of Lake County, but as much of the whole of Lake County as possible, because the TID should be trying to help all of our hotels and businesses, since all hotels are pitching into the TID. We see the little diagram chart and stuff. Again, I think you're doing a fantastic job. We've done better than we have done in the past. I just feel if it's not in writing, then I can't gripe about it in the future. So thought I'd propose it and see what the board thought about that addition.
Any other comments? All right, Ben?
Ben Rickelman, Deputy County Administrative Officer. Appreciate Supervisor Sabatier's comments. That shouldn't be an issue with the agreement. I have with Brian Fisher, the Director of the Tourism Improvement District, and I'll let him comment further on it.
Supervisors, that is, Bruno and I spoke a day or two ago about this, and that is not a problem. I do want to say we struggle and try very hard to represent all communities in all of our advertising. We are also very keen about location shoots where we're shooting, and it's always top of mind for us. We try to circle the lake, is what I tell folks, and don't forget we've got South County. So we really do try very hard. There's always room for improvement, so we'll continue to improve is what I feel like we'll do.
Thank you, and thank you for your patience today. Sorry you've been hanging out all day, but thank you.
All right. If there's not any other comments, I'll open it up for the public. If there's anyone from the public, bring it back to the board.
I don't have any issue with adding that.
If there's nothing more, Chair, I move to approve the annual agreement between the County of Lake and Visit Lake County, California for provision of administrative services to Lake County Tourism Improvement District in the amount of $112,500 from July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, and authorize the chair to sign, and also as amended.
Mr. Chair, if I may, just for further clarification, the amendment would be adding section 1.9 in Exhibit A of the agreement.
And then I have a motion and a second to that effect. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 500. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.
All right. 5.9.
Do you mind picking up 7.3 since Lars is here?
Yeah, no, I will. Seven point three, consideration of contract change order number 1 to the contract with Argonaut Constructors Incorporated for the 2024 pavement rehabilitation project for a decrease of $449,232.30, and B, consideration of contract change order number 2 to the contract with Argonaut Constructors Incorporated for the 2024 pavement rehabilitation project for an increase of $1,477,626.93. Public Works, Interim Public Works Director Lars Ewing.
All right, good afternoon. Your board will recall that back in the end of July of this year, your board I presented an update on the Cobb area road rehab project. That's I guess I'll just say the common term that we're using for this project. At that time, prior to that meeting, the project was paused out of some concerns. The project was about 16, 17 miles of road improvements, about 9 or 10 of which were paving, and the remaining 6 or 7 were chip seals. And the chip seal was a grind and placement of a double chip seal. Out of concerns for what that would be long-term, the cost effectiveness of that, your board will recall that we paused the project and presented an update to your board just to ensure that we could get direction. As the interim director, I felt that was important. So at that time, your board directed staff to modify the contract and come back to your board for the approval of the change orders. So that's what this item is. There are 2 change orders. The reasons for that are really not critical to go over, but the intent initially was to have the change order 1 address the deductions, and change order 2 address the additions. It wasn't that cut and dry, simply because of needing some final numbers. But the net result is I think the agenda memo discusses the overall increase, total contract increase of $28,394.63. So that change is essentially to replace what was intended to be chip sealed with asphalt paving. So that's the net change. Obviously, there are details that we can go into here. There's preparation of the road. There's the asphalt itself, but there's preparation of the road. There's adjustments. There's conforms, but the impact of doing that change is the number that I just addressed. Important to talk about funding for the project. Your board previously gave, I think, conceptual approval for $225,000 of supervisor discretionary funding for that. It's my understanding that has been prepared for final budget, that would be included in the final budget, so there's no action included here for that. So the extent of your action is the change order approval. The remainder of the funding would come from essentially road funds, what we would simplistically say road funds. Yes, it is a hit on the bottom line, but that's where the funding would come from. And then on the appropriation side, just in a kind of a financial administrative piece, there is no need to increase appropriations because the capital appropriation for this project is already sufficient, even considering the proposed change order. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Supervisor Sabatier?
Just you've answered all the questions that I had. Thank you for taking the call this morning. And originally the bid went out for $6.5 million estimated engineer, and we're at 6.1. And what's the status of the roads currently? Have they been completed?
They have been prepped, and one layer of chip seal has been placed as a bit of a binder in a sense. They're getting beat up because one layer of chip seal is on instead of 2, and even that would have had concerns. But the status is that they are effectively prepared. They still need to have some additional work done to prepare them for asphalt. But the contractor, as I understand it, is pending your board's approval and pending a notice to proceed, we're looking at October is the understanding I have for asphalt paving being completed.
Okay. And just my final statement is change orders are not completely uncommon, and delays are not uncommon, but at the same time, not fun for the community to deal with. And I can't speak for the Cobb community, but I know from other areas that delays aren't fun. If in the future, if there's something you can bring us to change the policy where maybe we can approve a certain percentage of contingency to allow for smooth projects to occur, that way we don't have to have delays and wait for us to approve some certain things. This one's way above the 10%, so it's a bad example, but I know that I have seen that in other places, and if it's possible to bring us some sort of policy that might allow you or whoever will be in the Public Works Director chair in the future to have a little bit more flexibility and leniency on moving projects forward.
I appreciate you saying that. The Public Services has put that in place for the Armory as a project-specific approval, and there was some discussion at that point in time of looking at it at a broader scale. So the Administrative Office and County Council and I would say the other public project department heads would be critical to be included in that.
All right. I will open it up for the public at this time. Jack, if you can unmute, you have 3 minutes.
Hello?
Yes.
Everything you said is correct. I'm here on Cobb Mountain, and the blue chip seal, whatever, is not sufficient. It's kind of crazy that it was even approved in the first place. A lot of people on Cobb seem to think like, why wasn't anyone asked? We need asphalt here. We seriously need asphalt on all the roads that the blue chip was put on. Is really freaking bad, and everyone here like wants asphalt. So I just don't understand how it was approved in the first place. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. I mean, I want that to be approved for sure.
Thank you. Any others? All right, I'll bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the contract order number 1 to the contract with Argonaut Constructors, Inc. for the 2024 pavement rehabilitation project for a decrease of $449,232.30 and authorize the chair to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the contract change order number 2 to the contract with Argonaut Constructors, Inc. for the 2024 pavement rehabilitation project for an increase of $1,477,626.93 and authorize the chair to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Lars.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lars.
All right. Consent or 7372?
7-2, please.
All right. Consideration of the following advisory board appointments. Food Policy Council, Supervisor Sabatier, this is your.
Yeah, we have 3 applications. One is from a farmer's market manager. One is from education. Mandy Lopez is the food director over at Canocta Unified School District. And then Rebecca Harper for representation of the Farm Bureau. And looking for that approval today.
All 3?
All 3.
All right. Any comments? No. Open to the public. Any comments from the public? Jack, is this for the Food Policy Council, or are you still? Okay. I'll bring it back to the board for action.
I think Jack wanted to support this, the applications. I move to approve Rebecca Harper for the Food Policy Council as the Farm Bureau representative, Mandy Lopez as the Education representative, and Cornelia Sieber-Davis as the Farmers Market Manager representation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. 5.9. All right. Adopt resolution fixing tax rates for local agencies general obligation bonds and other voter-approved indebtedness for fiscal year 25 and 26, auditor, controller, county clerk. That's what it says, but Stephen, it looks like you're here. Supervisor Sabatier?
Do you want Mr. Carter to? So I pulled this item just because when I looked at it, it felt somewhat not confusing, but two resolutions and no explanation. So I talked to county council, said it would be wise to pull it and just clarify that today we are approving the revised and added 9-5 debt service resolution 2526 and not the other resolution attached to the item. And that is all. The changes were to the Mendocino College. It was originally put in as .021. It's been revised to .019. I have no issues with the fixed tax rate. Just wanted to make sure that publicly it was clean that we are approving the specific resolution.
Exactly correct.
All right. No, if there's no comments from the board, I'll open it up to the public. No hands in Zoom. I'll bring it back to the board for action.
Mr. Chair, I offer the revised resolution.
Resolution's been offered.
Supervisor Owen?
Aye.
Supervisor Sabatier?
Aye.
Supervisor Rasmussen?
Aye.
Supervisor Pyska?
Yes.
And Supervisor Crandall?
Yes. Resolution passes 5-0. And that leaves us to our calendars. And so who would like to start?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Vice Chair.
Let's see, this weekend I worked the Early Lake Lions Club, our scholarship golf tournament up at Adams Springs on Cobb. I also went to the Scotts Valley Big Time event over at Red Hills. It was a good event, a lot of people there. Last night I had a meeting with the Highland Springs Trail volunteers and water resources out at Highland Springs. Plan on going to the Lakeport Fire Board tonight. Got Lake APC LTA tomorrow in Clear Lake. And then I'm going to try to make Children's Council. I believe that's back in Lakeport, right?
LCOE.
And then I'm going to go to the Animal Control Advisory Board. BVAC also tomorrow night, which you won't be there, right? Right. And then we have a Space Committee Thursday, I believe. It's on my calendar.
Oh,
but,
yeah, I won't
but
be able to make it.
you probably won't be there.
Oh, actually, I might.
Yeah.
I think I can with that, actually.
And then on the 11th, I have the grand jury asked me to come in for an interview. And also that same day, Behavioral Health Advisory Board. And then I have the $100 Strong event that night. And then I plan to go to the Valley Fire Anniversary up on Friday. And then also that evening, the Hoboken Big Lake Big Science film. And after that, I have to go out of the county for a couple days for some personal business. That concludes.
Okay. After the meeting today, I'm heading to Sonoma for the After the Fire Summit, which is the next few days. I am on a panel tomorrow at the summit. So I will have to miss the BVAC meeting, but I'll watch the video. And Thursday, the last day of the summit, but I can make the Space Committee meeting before I head to the summit, but I will miss the Recreation Agency meeting. So then.
Is that Thursday?
Yeah.
What time?
4 o'clock, and I think it's Lakeport this time.
I'll add it.
Okay. Yeah, Kevin's the one that sent the agenda. So Lakeport. And then Friday, I'll come back Thursday night. Friday morning, getting ready for the Valley Fire event at Mandala Springs, which I hope all of you come. And then that evening, there's a gathering at the Lions Club at the Little Red Schoolhouse. And then I will be there to support Supervisor Owen for the Saturday event. And then Monday, Risk Reduction Authority, and then back here on Tuesday.
Okay. Tomorrow's kind of open. I know I'll be busy. I just don't have anything scheduled on the calendar. On Thursday, I have the South Deal meeting, and Lake County Recreation Agency, and the Hidden Valley Board meeting. So I'll be speaking at that. Friday, we have the Valley Fire commemoration, and I have a rodeo that evening. And on Saturday, I have the Valley Fire commemoration in Middletown, and then with Miss Susan on Monday.
First and foremost, I am so happy for the moisture in the air, which I think makes all of us a little bit happier, and we can use a little bit more to really be fully relieved, and maybe try and put a little early closure, if possible, to our fire season. Tomorrow I will be in the city of Clear Lake at City Hall for the APC LTA meeting. I'll go ahead and I'll be bouncing back as well to Lakeport for the Children's Council. On Thursday, I'll be heading out to Sacramento for the CSAC Board of Directors meeting, and I will either be able to get back home in time, pull over in Williams, or just stay in Sacramento and have a virtual meeting with Chair Crandall regarding the senior mobile home discussion on Thursday. And then I have a Lake County Continuum of Care Strategic Planning Committee. We do have our September 24th, which is on a Wednesday, starting at 5:30 p.m. We will be doing a town hall on homelessness, and it will start at 5:30 p.m. at the Supervisors Theater. It is free for anyone who wants to attend. We are looking for to provide presentations from the funding sources that the COC has been able to tap into, to the delivery of the services by some of our agencies here locally, and then also have lived experience folks providing their stories and their experiences as they've navigated through the system, trying to get back on their feet, and hoping to have open dialogue and some good discussion between the public and those presenting. Later on that day, on Thursday, also, it'll be a Yuba Community College Board meeting that I will be attending as well. On Friday, I do plan on attending the Valley Fire Remembrance. I believe that's 1 p.m., so I will be there, and hopefully I'll be able to have the time as well to go to Soper Reese later that evening to go see the Hobbiton Big Water, Big Science, I believe is the name of the, if I remember your poster correctly.
Correct.
On the 15th, we actually have a success story coming out of Hope Center in the city of Clear Lake, the shelter that's out there. There is a tenant who is graduating, who is moving up to Humboldt, where his family resides. He already has a job. He's going to be a sober living environment manager. And he's done a good job to inspire some of the folks over at Hope Center. He's become a lived experience committee leader. And when people leave and move forward from Hope Center, they have a key ceremony where then they place a key on they have a mural of a tree to show the growth and just development of folks that go through that process. Be meeting with our CAO later on that afternoon and prepare for our meeting on Tuesday. I do want to take a moment, and I hope I'm not stealing any thunder from you, Chair, but there are key staff members that are part of our team when we talk a lot about Lake Pillsbury, and there's been a lot of activity. And so I just want to say thank you to Lloyd Guintavano, who's in the room with us. We have Patrick Sullivan, who's our tax collector, who provides a lot of detailed information about our economic impact. Thank you for the help. Matthew Rothstein has been incredible with connecting us with different agencies and different departments to be able to have these key conversations. And newly connected now is Trevor Muckle, who is also helping us with those connections, similar to what Matthew Rothstein was doing. But you will be seeing a lot more, and you have probably been seeing a lot more happening on our social media, on a lot more happening in just overall general media. This is a topic that has really blown up and taken a lot of people's attention. And I just couldn't be more thankful for that team. There's a lot happening, and I think it's kind of heading in the direction that we were hoping it would go, with certain, hesitation to the direction as well that we're going, because it's kind of an unknown. But I just want to say thank you to that team, because that team has done some incredible work to really get us on the map and on everybody's radar. So just wanted to make that comment.
Yeah, no, thanks for doing that. I didn't have that on my list, so it's good you said that. It's so far, even into the national level, there's been posts and whatnot from the administration, the current administration as of now. So there's just a lot of different people calling to see if we will talk on either interviews or newspaper or even podcasts and things like that are coming out. So yeah, be looking out for those. It felt like at one time we're still in the fourth quarter in the last, couple minutes, but we feel like instead of at 55:10, we're like at 55:35 maybe, but there's still a short time limit. So, there's been a lot of momentum. I mean, just different people coming out and talking about it, and just out of the blue, you got people calling us from DC. So, yeah. Tomorrow, matter of fact, I thought I had a GSNR meeting, but I was thinking, where is it going to be at? Because usually I'd post it here if I had to do it on Zoom, and it got canceled for next month, so I won't be doing that meeting. The Thursday, of course, we have the senior mobile home discussion that we're going to have as a result of that one item a couple weeks back. For the rent stabilization ordinance, and now I will just added the LCRA to my calendar for Thursday. Friday, I'll be attending the event for the Valley Fire anniversary, and then in the evening, the Hobbiton, the Hobbiton, the big, what is it, Good Science? Big Lake Good Science, yeah, sorry, so I should know that, my bad. But yes, I will be there. I'll be there as well. We have a dump day, the Upper Lake Park from 9 to 1 in Upper Lake for the citizens in the community. I'll be getting a flyer out by the end of the day, so we can ensure that people have a chance to do that. And then Monday, back here, I don't know why I wrote this, but I know that I have the RRA meeting in the afternoon, right? That's here? Clear Lake?
I don't know.
That's the worst. We never know.
We don't know. They
Wherever it
haven't-
was last, it's not there.
No,
Yeah.
we'll find out when it gets posted.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure, but yeah, it doesn't say. So either way, we'll figure. Yeah, we'll figure that one out. But that's the last one, and then we'll be back here Tuesday. So.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
I apologize deeply, and thank you for following up after my calendar statements. I was speaking specifically to staff, but I want to thank you as well. Without your efforts, we would not have had the conversation we did with the Department of Interior. So thank you as well for all your efforts that you make for the Lake Pillsbury. I spoke specifically about staff, but I should have probably highlighted you as well.
They're carrying us. I'm just get a couple calls here and there where, so again, they're the root, they're the base to this. We're just
takes a team.
Yeah. All right. With that, we'll go into closed session. I'll read these closed session items off. 8.1, Public Employee Evaluations, County Administrative Officer. 8.2, Conference with Legal Counsel, decision whether to initiate litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D4, one potential case. 8.3, Conference with Legal Counsel, existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1 in regards to National Prescription Opiate Litigation, MDL number multi-district litigation. Is that what it is? Number 2804, case number 117MD2804. I thought I knew, sorry. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1 in regard to National Prescription Opiate Litigation, MDL number 2804, in regards to Purdue Pharma LP et al., case number 1923649 SHL. All right, with that, we'll go into closed session. Well, Welcome back. We're coming out of closed session. Was there any action to be taken out of closed session?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'm going to have some motions starting with agenda item 8.3. And the first motion is I move to approve the secondary manufacturers combined subdivision participation and release form for the County of Lake and authorize County Council to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0.
Second motion on item 8.3, I move to approve the corresponding proposed California state subdivision agreement regarding distribution and use of settlement funds for each of the secondary manufacturers and authorize County Council to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0.
Regarding agenda item 8.4, motion 1, I move to approve the subdivision participation and release form for the County of Lake and authorize County Council to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion passes.
And motion number 2,
Are there any noes? All right, that motion passes 5-0. Sorry.
and motion number 2, I move to approve the proposed California state subdivision agreement regarding distribution and use of settlement funds, Purdue Slacker settlement, and authorize County Council to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries 5-0. That's the last of it. Hearing that, we are now adjourned. Thank you.